Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Sorry about that. Do the music twice. Okay. Howdy, folks. It's been a long day, a busy day. I made three pizzas right before the show, and I had to eat one of them all by myself. No, not really, but I did make the three pizzas. Like I said, it's been a busy day. All kinds of cool stuff going on behind the scenes, some of which I want to tell you about. Just moments before the show, I got a message from Bill from Paints Minis Live, and he just finished up with the Shadow Chat bingo card. So that's going to be a thing real soon. We'll be doing that on Saturday nights every once in a while when I've got some prizes lined up for you guys. And, mostly just crafts to be made so I can get rid of them. But we'll have some good prizes. And a couple of shout outs, real quick. Mini Warmutt is having a painting challenge in September. He released the video this morning. I suggest you go check that out. Red Room put out a little announcement video. Kind of funny if you watched my earlier video. Go watch that. Check that out. And the Arduino Kickstarter ended. They were going to be on tonight, but we're going to schedule that for next week, probably Wednesday for the after party. For those of you who back the Kickstarter. They've got some new announcements and some info they want to lay on you guys, all you cool cats out there in TV land. I was literally scrambling to get up here, a minute late, but then I screwed up on the music. But otherwise, it's been pretty cool. Been a pretty busy day. Got a lot done. Reviewed this awesome game this morning. Um, Waiting for guests. I sent the link out there in the usual place over on Discord. If you guys want to join and chat with us tonight, I'm going to be painting up some Star Schlock minis while we're chilling and chatting. And I did a little looking around for some minis, some new minis to paint, but I think I'm just going to go through the garage and see what I can pull out of the cobwebs. Bruce was so kind to send us not one but two of these Garistos. Uh, I'm kind of itching to pull one out. You know what? Let's do that while we're waiting for the guests to arrive. You get a better look at this monstrosity. DM James and Bruce and folks, sorry I missed coming on to the show earlier. What's up, Crafting Gamer? What's up, George? You guys know where the link is if you want to come in and chat and paint. I couldn't join you, James, because, like I said in the chat, I was up to my elbows in spaghetti sauce making pizza, and uh, it sounds like I missed out on a very interesting chat. Speaking of DM James, Raven would like to invite you to her radio show on 1-2 Radio. If that sounds like something you'd like to do, she's always super impressed with all the things you know about when it comes to, uh, you know, history and politics and religion and stuff like that. And she's got a very fun show. I've been on there numerous times. So if you catch this, or I'll just ask you later. Then we have Justin. What's up, bro? How you doing?
You know you're not supposed to use spaghetti sauce for pizza. It's the
Um,
wrong sauce.
that's what I've always done, and that's probably what I'll always do. But why is that?
Why? It's too thin and it's got the wrong spice mix in it.
Really?
Weirdo. Yeah.
Because what I use is actually pretty thick. Um,
Yeah.
and I tried a new sauce tonight, and Jackie loved it. Plus, I used a thicker brand of pepperoni instead of the cheap generic stuff, and he was very, very happy. So there's the new mini I got from Bruce. Jackie and I are both going to paint one up, but I don't know who or what this is. I just like it, so I'll probably just paint it however the heck I see fit. I wanted to paint him purple and green, but Jackie's like, no, I forbid it. For those of you who've watched us, all these years, you remember that there was a period where like everything we painted ended up being purple and green. It
Mhm.
wasn't because I was trying to just do that. It just ended up being, we were painting like Martians and things like that, Mars Attacks kind of minis. So it's new with you, Justin.
Nothing much. You should prime it purple, then zenithal it green, so the
Yeah,
colors show through when you.
might do. I'm gonna look it up and see what other people have painted it. It's basically just a big, minotaur looking brute. But here's a 28 mil guy. Uh, it's
Sweet.
yeah, nice and chunky. But
That's definitely a big fought.
yeah, yeah.
Big feats.
Well,
Got more
big
than one.
hooves. It's hooved. So I,
Okay.
I might use it as like a minotaur god or something like that. I've got a couple other minotaurs that are pretty big, and just all in all, being kind of bored with what's on my table. Want to paint something, new, but I've only got so many interests, so everything is kind of the samey. That's why I pulled out the sci-fi minis. Plus, I've got uh, about 20 or 30 minis on my table that I need to finish up. But Mini Warmot's got this interesting challenge. It's going the distance, and I guess the contest is whoever paints the most millimeters in miniatures. So, like, if you paint, like 10, 28 millimeter miniatures, you convert it to inches or feet or whatever, and whoever paints the longest stretch of minis, something like 10,000 millimeters in a mile or something. But he's got like 500 minis on his table, and you can't start until September. You can assemble them and you can prime them, and I think maybe some partial painting, pre-painting is allowed, but you have to go check with him just to be sure. I rarely get more than 50 miniatures painted in a month, and uh, I may I may look at the Dungeons and Lasers stuff and see about painting that, or I might just pull out some lead. An interesting mini fact I learned today: Emperor's Choice. Our friends over the Arduin guys. Uh, their
Hmm.
their their miniatures are almost all pewter, like one of the highest pewter contents available. But
That's good.
but there's another secret ingredient that I'm going to let them share with you. I'll tell you in private chat. But I was like,
Is it
hmm,
zinc?
no, no, um,
Is it copper?
no.
Have you ever worked with a miniature made out of timony?
Timony, maybe, but I also have worked with some solid brass minis. As a matter of fact,
Yeah, timony's a little harder than brass.
I actually picked up. I have a master for a
It's
mold
a
with
little
the
harder than
screws and
brass.
everything. That's all brass, and I picked it up on a. It's a weird story. Um, I literally own the rights to this miniature now because the guy who made it passed away, and I ended up buying the only master to this and I think another miniature that he ever made. Someone sold them, and he passed away. No kids, no other family. So weird.
I don't know.
Well, the weird part is that it was added to a game that I helped work on as an official mini, and I was the only one who had like some of the not the masters, but prior to the masters, I had just some of the only miniatures that had ever been sold. And the company's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you secure it? And I'm like, I'll see what I can do. And then sure enough, I got it.
Okay, so what's the secret ingredient? George is saying arsenic.
No, it's not arsenic. I'll tell you in private
Is it
because I don't want
anthrax? Is it
to.
uranium?
It's a metal. Uh,
Is it plutonium?
it's not plutonium.
Is it? Cobalt.
No. What's up, TCG? How you doing, bro?
Pretty good, other than the fact that Justin just got uranium fever stuck in my head by saying uranium.
Uranium
Is that a
fever?
song, I'm guessing?
Yes, it is. It's one of the songs they have on Fallout 76. It's kind of a comedy song. Uranium fever.
Okay.
The whole
Never
song. You should look up uranium fever. It is hilarious.
No, I refuse. If it's going to give me the same effect as it had you, and it's going to be stuck in my head.
This is the song that never ends. It keeps on going on and on, my friend. Some say, "Oh shit! I spilled my water on me."
That's what you get for trying to freaking frick with people's heads. So, anything new going
Man,
on
that
with you,
song has
Patrick?
been in my head since 1992.
That explains so much.
No, I've just got a few things I needed today. I looked at some prices of some stuff I'm going to need to get in the next couple of paychecks.
Right
Actually,
on.
it cost a little less than I was expecting in a couple of days. Like, well, that works out.
Don't
can't
you love
afford to get it
that
right
when
now.
you get a deal or a discount?
Yeah. Well, like for example, the Dremel set I was looking at, that I wanted to look at, I was really, because I've never looked at one before. I looked at it, go 35. I was expecting 55, 60 for that. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, it's not
looking
going to be the best set, but I don't need a super good set either.
You get it from Dremel.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're
As a
fine.
matter of fact, I have a Dremel that I just found like a couple of years ago. It's been at the bottom of my toolbox. My
Yeah.
toolbox has like lids and stuff.
Now
Well,
the bits are standardized, so you can go on, if you're not worried about them lasting a long time, you can go on Alibaba and order them cheap.
Mhm.
So
This Dremel kit I've had since in my 20s,
Mhm.
and I pulled it out. I'm like, I bet this don't work. Sure, excuse me. Sure enough, works like a champ.
I have a Dremel that's easily that old, but I actually need to get one of those less powerful ones for most of my work because this particular one is so powerful, it literally levitates in my hand. So I
Oh.
love to describe it as it levitates with rage because I could feel it trying
It
to
doesn't
pull
have
my
a-
hand upwards.
It doesn't have
No,
a
it
speed.
doesn't. It's that old. It's just
Oh.
on and off.
Really?
Yeah. Dremel still makes models like that, but for like $5 more, you get the speed variable. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't buy it.
that's more to what I need. But I will be pleased to have that thing because one day I will need that power.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. That kind of power is better for Element 109. You guys. Next week we'll reveal it. You made me forget what I was going to say now. Damn it. Oh, the more powerful ones are better for terrain as opposed to minis.
Yeah,
I have been eyeballing some of those like pocket models, those really tiny like USB multi tools. You know what I'm
Mhm.
Oh
talking
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I've
Those are
seen a
good.
few videos online of people using those little style
They're
ones.
good for boring out plastic and lead barrels and small stuff. Little bit of
grinding.
light carving and stuff like that.
Yeah, basically
Just
good for
remember,
miniatures.
the faster you're spinning, the more heat you're generating, and the more hot your bit gets, the sooner it dies.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
You
and
have
for
the
what
same
we
rule
do,
for drill bits.
for what we do, we don't need something brutally powerful.
Yeah.
Man,
Sorry, you're listening to me, Chew.
what are you eating?
Um, was it Reese's Pieces themed Rice Krispies bar?
That sounds really good. I just made
Yeah, it
brownies today. Lots and lots of walnuts, but now I want to make Rice Krispie squares.
Oh, my mother makes a treat called a
Extra
yum yum.
marshmallows. Yum yum.
It is, yeah, it is. You take preferably a giant marshmallow, stick it on a stick, like popsicle stick, whatever. Then you dip it in. I have to ask what it's a caramel cream mix that won't completely solidify. You dip it in that, then you cover it in Rice Krispies. A yum yum.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good. You guys are gonna kill me here. I'm
Yeah. So what's your Rice Krispie mix when you make them?
Stick of butter, package of marshmallows, 6 or 7 cups of Rice Krispies. Call it a day.
And then you parcel it out into like a deep like a lasagna tray or whatever
Yeah.
to solidify.
I like it a
recommend
little bit correct. Sorry.
I recommend you make the marshmallow fluff like a separate batch of marshmallow fluff, right? Then layer the tray with the Rice Krispie mix, half of it, so it's like only half full, or a little less than half full. Put some marshmallow fluff down, then sprinkle some M&Ms, like an even layer of M&Ms or Skittles or whatever you like, and then put the rest of the Rice Krispie mix down, and then let it solidify. Then cut it up. Yeah.
We've done that before. It's actually pretty good.
That sounds really good. I'm dying for chocolate now, but I'm limited to myself once a day.
I've been tempted to do it without the M&Ms, but with maraschino cherries. But I have no idea how it will turn out.
You're gonna have to what do you call it? Really not dry them out, but get rid of as much moisture as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like the
Uh,
moisture though. I was hoping it would stain the bottom layer.
Something a friend of mine. Well, it's
They're gonna get.
might be
They're
right.
gonna get. They're not. They're not gonna stay crispy around that cherry area.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah,
That's probably true.
'cause there's a lot of moisture in them. Just
The the cured,
got
you
to
get
sound pretty good.
the extra thick ones. Yeah, maybe
But you know what you could
maybe
do?
jarred cherries. You can get
Well,
jarred cherries.
I forget. This company makes these dark chocolate coated. It's supposed to be pomegranates, but it's really not a pomegranate inside. It's just
Yeah.
like a gooey thing.
Yeah,
But
it's flavored with the juices or whatever.
mhm. and
Yeah.
layer the inside with that. That way, maybe potentially the heat of the Rice Krispies will like kind of melt it in place.
We'll
Or
have
maybe
to
you
get.
can find chocolate covered cherries, not
Yeah,
the
well,
usual ones, but something a little bit more like a real one instead of those big old freaking bonbon looking things.
yeah. I'm gonna have to look into that.
And
I don't know. I usually get those type of things around Pink Halloween.
Pink Halloween. I like that. Pink Halloween.
what's that?
February
Valentine's.
14th.
Oh, okay.
Pink
All that
Halloween.
candy.
Yeah, I was thinking something else, but okay. The
Pink
costumes, the dress up and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah. Don't you put on a monkey suit and you go to the
wherever.
you dress up
Well,
like
they-
a person that goes to fancy restaurants.
Plus, they do also sell costumes specifically for that day, just not ones that you want to wear in public.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
and not for men. You're supposed to say.
Well, they do
you
make them
buy a
for men.
banana
It's
hammock.
just a lot of men should not be seen in some of those outfits.
You're not just whistling Dixie there. Speaking of Halloween, though, we were at two different Dollar Trees last Saturday, just because we happened to be doing stuff.
Two
And
things
they've
that should
already
never go together. Any kind of holiday and the words dollar.
yeah. Well, they've already got the Halloween stuff out. They're starting to put it on the shelves, which means this weekend I gotta get out there again and do the same thing because there's some really cool stuff that always comes around that you can only get. I mean, you can go online and order from these places, but they want you to buy the whole box, and I'm like, I don't need a box of whatever's. But
Yeah.
the other thing that's coming out is the Spirit Halloween store is also going to start opening sometime this month, which is August, September, October, for a one-day holiday. Kind of looking forward to that because there are things that Jackie wants to get for his video projects, more fake blood, stuff like that. But there's also occasionally,
You can buy that year round on Amazon, right?
yeah, we just bought a pint of fake blood. Got it in the mail yesterday.
They used to have this beverage you could drink. It was like B negative blood. It came in like fake blood bags.
Yeah, we have to get some the blood capsules for one of the scenes. Jackie's going to kill me in one of his upcoming videos. So stay tuned. You'll get to see me.
You don't need a blood capsule for that.
You know, right? Just use a real knife.
Oh,
But the funny thing is the character that I usually play in his videos is going to be the one killing me. So I'm basically, you know,
suiciding yourself?
don't do it, kids and folks out there. That's just dumb.
We'll just watch the whole thing on how
See-
you're actually allowed to say that on YouTube.
You are or aren't.
Are you are?
Uh,
Make
Yeah,
a better
it's
shot at. You
funny
can
to
just
think-
pretend that you're killing an alternate dimension version of yourself. Make it kind of like the second Time Cop. Every time one of you version of you dies, you get stronger.
or Kennedy killing himself in Red Dwarf.
The second Time Cop? Oh, you mean what was it? It wasn't Time Cop, but it was. I know the movie you're talking about.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's not Time Cop. Crud.
It's the one. The one.
Yeah,
Oh, Jet Li. Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
I think I used to have it on VHS.
I only got 2 movies on VHS anymore.
Yeah, I think I've
Mall-
only got one Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Okay. Mallrats and the Last Starfighter. And I bought them at
because
the
you-
same time.
Is that because you don't have them on DVD now?
No. No, they're just the last DVD VHSs I bought. I bought them at the same time. And I've just never gotten around to throwing them out.
Gotcha. I almost lost my
They
shit
just keep
yesterday.
floating around.
I was trying to watch the director's cut of the
Big Blue
Watchmen.
Penis?
The Watchmen, yeah, because I just got it in the mail a while ago actually, and I was waiting for Jackie. He ain't got time. He's working on his video projects, and he actually starts school.
No, he's just not a homo.
He has to start school next week because the JROTC has to go in a week early. So he's like scrambling to, get his video out and do as much as he can before he's back to school. And my DVD of it starts like, I just got it and I did buy it used, and I checked it. It looked fine, and it's like, doing the jittery thing, won't play, properly. And I'm like, oh no. So I put in another DVD, Serenity, worked like a charm, no problem. Take it out, clean it a bunch of times, and finally was finally able to actually watch it all the way through. And yeah, definitely still up there. Favorite movies. Those fans out there of Sally Jupiter, just saying, if you're a fan, it's you definitely want the director's cut.
Sally Jupiter. The skinny chick with blonde
Yeah.
hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't remember her name.
Yeah.
Definitely
Way more.
Ackerman, I think it is.
I don't know.
Molly
She's not
Ackerman.
really my type.
Yeah.
And I did have a girlfriend who looked a lot like her a long time ago before I even knew she was in the movie. We were together for, I want to say 10 years almost.
Yeah.
But we got together not because of the way she looked. We had actually a lot in common and stuff.
Yeah. Super Hot. I remember seeing that in theaters.
Oh, you definitely wouldn't have seen that. Well,
No,
maybe.
I saw because they did that director's cut in theaters thing with that. I
Okay.
do believe. There were a lot of nude scenes in the theatrical cut that were worthwhile.
Worth the price of admission? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see why a lot of people would appreciate that.
Yeah, she's the dime store Amy Smart, right?
Kind of. I actually found the other girl, Manhattan's first girlfriend, more attractive in the face. The Sally Jupiter just really had like a, they both had that girl next door look, but hers was more the real girl next door. Really, nothing to write home about. Even her mother was a little more unique facially. I want to say,
Watchmen. Oh, yeah.
but still my favorite movie. Glad I got it. Glad I watched it. Glad I didn't
Uh,
throw it across the room when the DVD started taking a shit on me, because I'm prone to doing shit like that, or yanking the DVD player out of the wall and throwing it across the room.
weird.
I know, dumb, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch DVDs that often, and the one time I go to watch something, is it too much to ask for it to work one last time, and then as it's ending, it starts like fritzing up or something. It's like, oh, okay, well, not time to get a new one. Okay, all right, thanks for the warning.
You mean Lori Jupiter, not
Yeah, Lori Jupiter, you're right, you're right.
yeah.
Lori was just
Sally. Sally was
was the
the
mom.
mother.
Yeah, she just had
Oh,
Lori
dude.
was just very plain looking to me.
Yeah. Um.
I mean, she's not unattractive, but she's not even a 6 in my book.
I can see that. Um. She works better as a blonde than a brunette, though. In my
Um,
opinion.
I've never seen her like that, but I can.
There was a documentary that was filmed shortly before The Watchmen came out,
Mhm.
but it came out afterward, or maybe quite a bit, where they're doing, that hotel where all the wannabe actors and washed up actors live at. I think it's been in movies too. It's like known for that.
Okay.
Uh, fuck. It was in one of those M. Night Shyamalan movies. They used it as the backdrop for. Actually, I could probably look it up because she was in the documentary before she got her big break in that movie. She was living there. Um,
That's good, George. Me too. It's all of the songs from that movie now. If I hear that song, I'm thinking, if I, perchance hear, Boogeyman, you know, that landing, both of their landings from
yeah,
Archimedes, both those landings are just freaking.
yeah. I'm not a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan, but whenever I hear that credit song, I have to go listen to some Pumpkins because
Yeah, there's a few Pumpkin songs I still. 1974, I think, was a biggie for me.
uh,
Um, I've got like what was that double album they put out toward the end of their career?
I have no idea. Well, nonetheless,
But yeah, there's only a couple of soundtracks I have, and that's definitely got to be one of them. The Pulp Fiction used to be my all-time favorite soundtrack, and then I saw Watchmen. I'm like, oh man, this has got some good ones in it. And it's funny too because Boogeyman and a few others are not all that big a deal, but for some reason they just got like bumped up 2 notches on the rating scale by being in that movie. You know what I mean?
yeah. I'm
E-
hoping
even
that.
uh, even the Bob Dylan song. I'm not a big Bob Dylan fan at all.
Yeah,
But
but it was perfect for the when.
yes, that intro is just. I can't think of a better intro that tells you all all of what it tells you so much in 5 minutes. This is how this Earth is different from your Earth, and here we go. Let's do some.
Unforgettable. That's Irving Gordon's song, though.
Um,
It's
I I don't
performed
think that's that
by.
version. I think uh oh,
It's performed by Nat King Cole. The opening song.
right,
Uh,
right. Hallelujah. There's another movie that's in. Um, I want to say, is it on? Is it in Pulp Fiction?
What?
Hallelujah.
Uh, yeah, no. 1 second, I gotta go back to it. The song is
Yeah,
unforgettable. The opening song. I'm looking
yeah,
at the
discography or whatever.
I'm looking at the soundtrack on IMDb.
Okay. But
Bob Dylan. The times they are changing is the third song in the film, unless this thing's out of order, which is not impossible, but usually it's in order from the songs that were in the film.
I don't remember
Uh,
the first one then. Unforgettable. And I remember those two in the order. But what comes? What's technically first?
the first song is Unforgettable. The second one is MTV
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is
theme
it the
Moon
MTV?
Landing.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
it's the Moon Landing thing. That's the second song. Then
okay.
it's
Yeah,
the
that's fair.
times are changing.
That's
Then
fair.
it's 99 Lift Balloons. Uh,
Yeah, George, that Hallelujah scene in Archimedes, it's pretty hot. Just saying.
then The Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel.
I used to listen to a lot of them when I was like really, really young, like before double digits age, because my parents had a bunch of their albums, so I would listen to whatever I could find. The Boxer, that was a great song. Um, but I just, for the life of me, when I found out that Paul Simon broke up with Carrie Fisher to go out with dudes, I'm like,
To go
you,
with dudes,
you're
just
kidding.
generally. And you know it's more than one at the same time.
I'm just
Carrie
like,
Fisher.
uh, there is no. I mean, growing up a nerd, she's like in everybody's top 10 list of
Uh,
women. I'm just saying,
a
if
generation older than me, yeah. But
yeah, that's fair.
I never got her. Like, I never got Carrie Fisher. I just never found her attractive. Even as a girl next door type, I never found her
Really,
attractive.
another girl I dated looked an awful lot like her, but I've been lucky. Bobby McGee, I don't remember that. It's on the soundtrack. That's
Let me go back to
what's
it.
her name?
Me
Uh,
and Bobby McGee, yeah, that's the 1, 2, 3,
Janis
4,
Joplin.
5, 6,
But
7th
what's
song.
scene?
It doesn't say here, man.
Okay, yeah,
It
I don't
just it
remember that.
just says the song, who wrote it, who performed it, and where it's licensed from.
Okay, I don't remember that one. That's really weird.
You think it would say what scene it's in?
Yeah, you would think, or at least something, or maybe
Yeah.
like a picture, to show an image from the scene.
No. They list the soundtracks down at the bottom on IMDb. You have to click to it, and
Mhm.
it's just like a direct. It's just a list of the songs.
Hey, what's up, Cal?
But I will do this right now. I
And
will
then
open
again,
up.
if they just showed images, if they showed an image from the Hallelujah song, they might not. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. But I am
wait a minute.
going.
He wrote. Chris Christopherson wrote that.
What?
Bobby McGee.
Yeah. Chris Christopherson and someone else.
Huh?
Fred Foster.
That's weird.
Yeah. It's not uncommon for that kind of thing to happen. Sometimes a writer will write a song and just go, "This doesn't fit on anything I've done," and just put it out for sale
Mhm.
because or it's a cover, right? He might have actually done a version of me and Bobby McGee on one of his albums. He has like 40 of them. So
Yeah.
I know Johnny Cash did a cover of it because
Really.
I just saw it popped up because I'm looking for the scene in The Watchmen, and all I'm seeing is the soundtrack.
I was never a big fan of his, but I know a lot of people are.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for that. I'm gonna have to look for the soundtrack. I used to listen. I used to do a lot of traveling,
Scene
uh,
from.
and
Sorry.
so I'd have my my Discman with me and like 20 CDs, and the Pulp Fiction one was always in my traveling case. But then again, I used to watch Pulp Fiction with my mom and or somebody else, literally every Sunday for years, just years. That would be the movie we would watch. Just
Hmm. I can't find the scene. I can spend an hour
well,
here looking
you
for it.
you can rest assured I will watch the movie again within the next 30 days. But I want to go through the other special discs that came in it, uh,
Yeah.
and see what other little tidbits, because I know I missed a few little scenes here and there. But there was the extra, the little things that happened here and there, like Holland Mason getting killed. That sucked. That just,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, what? I mean, I'd heard about it. I knew it was coming, and I'm just like, he's such a cool character, you know,
Hmm.
only to get taken down like that.
Holland Mason. I don't remember.
The original Night Owl,
Oh yeah.
Hollis Mason, something like that. I don't know. I
I'm gonna go look it up.
Yeah, he got
Uh,
beat up real bad, real bad.
yeah. I don't know. I gotta watch it again. It's been a while.
And Jackie was looking for a a way to sort of not have to buy like a crap ton of blood, from the fake blood.
Hmm.
And I was watching Watchmen in that scene where Rorschach chases Mr. Big or whatever his name is into the restroom.
You can just make it, right? Like it's not hard to make.
No, but either way, we want to, get the illusion of a lot of blood, but not have to buy a lot of blood. So that scene where the toy, he kills Mr. Big in the restroom, and then
Hmm.
walks out, and then as they're leaving the jail that area, you just see all that blood come flowing down out of the restroom door.
Hmm.
That, meant that they didn't have to use as much for that scene.
Or they had to use a fuck ton more.
Well, it also looked like it was mixed with water as well to make it
Yeah.
because he'd broken the toilet or something.
Flow more. Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? If we do something like that, so we were probably gonna like borrow from that scene.
Well, that's what you got to do if you're making movies and shit like he wants to do. You got to start watching more stuff to get ideas from.
Yeah.
You got to start doing that shit where you're just sitting there in front of the TV every night watching a
Yep.
movie or
Yep.
four with your notebook, and like you're not giving a shit about what other people in the room are saying, and you just keep watching the same scene over and over again, writing shit
Mhm.
down, like trying to figure out how to do stuff.
Nice, George recreated the elevator scene in The Shining. We're not doing that.
Yeah, that was done with a model.
Well, with someone who has researched making videos, Jackie needs to be aware right now there are two very important things. One, he is going to need money for effects. And two, no matter how much money he has, it'll never be enough. So he has to learn to make do or improvise.
Yeah,
That's
that's not true. The two things he has to know is he needs to be a skeesy perv and into kids. If there's anything I've learned from Hollywood, that's how you make movies.
I'm gonna go with you're both right. You're both right. But if he takes your advice, Justin, there's going to be a conversation. Just saying.
Well, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and you're not wrong. It's true, but hopefully we'll fix that one of these days, or we'll just stop watching movies. I don't know.
Well, we need
But
to fix it.
thankfully he's got
Movies
his
are
old
important.
man right now to help him out with corner cutting ideas and things like that because he pays for everything himself.
Yeah.
Um, he
He should start saving up for a decent camera and start learning how to use them.
mhm.
Um,
Unfortunately we went shopping for a better camera, and
they get expensive fast, bro.
oh, I know the camera we used to use to replace it. I bought it for like $255 4 or 5 years ago, right? To replace it at 1,000. If you can actually find it in stock at either of the places we go to, which is either Best Buy or I ended
No,
up,
don't buy those things new, man. Don't buy those things new. They're always like you can go around to like thrift shops and things like that and just like pay attention that nothing's broken on them. Don't worry if
Yeah,
they're beat up a little bit because you can
cameras are
get
one of the few
cameras.
things you can safely get secondhand and not have to worry too much about it.
I've never
Yeah.
seen one.
Well, then start looking on eBay, bro. You're
Yeah,
an eBay champion.
yeah. Thanks, Mac. I don't know. Just wanted it to look a certain way with the logo, but thanks. After bugging Jackie to make us a new logo, it took less than 5 minutes if you don't include the time he was goofing off. Um, you know, because we just sat there and he just pulled some things and did some things on the computer, and I'm like, okay, that's perfect. Now we need to make T-shirts and stickers and all that other crap because the one we were using just Baron G Rock made it for us a couple years back, and I didn't know shit about
Speaking of
that.
Jackie and money, a little bit behind, but something I just remembered. Based on the description of the Necrons you gave me, I do not believe it is even an older Combat Patrol, whatever it's called. I believe this is a Battle Forces box, and if it is, it's anywhere from $300 to $500. So if Jackie's really hurting for money for his show, he should be able to sell that on eBay for good money.
That's not going to happen, but thank you. And I think it is a battle box. And to be honest, I want to paint it because I'm getting tired. But I'm not gonna because it's his. I have a very strong belief that if even if you're a parent, if you give something to someone like a kid, it's theirs. You don't get to take it away and throw it away, kind of thing. It's like that you don't understand the giving process or any of that. I've heard too many horror stories, and my parents threw a few things of mine away, but after a certain point,
it wasn't yours. Why did you throw it away? It
exactly.
Yours to take from me. That's that.
It's like, oh, so I can go in and just take stuff of yours and just do whatever I want. No, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why a lot of comic books are so expensive because 90% of them were thrown away. There's like 10 copies of Superman #1, something like that.
Yeah.
All the rest were thrown away. You think of all those people who, when they find out, it's like, I threw away what $1 million? What? And their heads just go pop. Yeah.
Well, it's only $1 million because you threw it away.
Right, because there's none. But you know what I mean. If they were the one person that didn't throw it away, and they go digging through the attic and find that trunk full of comic books and pull out a beat up copy of #1, or whatever, just saying, because they're probably still more out there. People just realize it.
The EOS C300 Mark III Canon camera, is going for 12,000 brand new right now, and that's a good entry level camera for filmmaking.
Well, he did just make a crap ton of money.
Yeah, you're like, fuck you, Justin.
No, he did make some money.
Now, mind you, that's the camera without the lens or any of the add-ons. You don't need the offside display.
Welcome to the
monitor.
show, Dungeon Minister. Long time no see. And,
Yeah,
and
Dungeon Minister.
I just pulled that box out. I'm gonna try and get it to you ASAP. But I finally found it. It was not where I thought I had put it. But I know you'll get a kick out of it. But
Yeah.
I literally have every comic book I ever bought, with the exception of like two, which one of which was the first Joker's. The Joker had his own comic book back in the day, and I loaned it out to a kid, and he never returned it. And the other one I think is the same thing, but Rom #1, which is one of my favorites.
Rom.
But
I don't remember Rom.
it was a good story.
What happened in that?
It was these aliens are dealing with this alien enemy, and so they get some volunteers and turn them into these cyber knights, and then they are chasing their enemy, and one of them comes to Earth and uh, do things, and then eventually defeat the menace on Earth, I believe, or win the war. And during that time, he falls in love with a human, even though he was technically human, but now he's there's like all that's left of him in the suit is like his brain, his heart, maybe his lungs, and some arteries and stuff. There's like nothing left of him inside the suit, but they find a way to reverse the process. Nice. I read a little bit of Daredevil, a little bit of Thor. I really never saw Black Panther as a kid. Power Pack, that was like the kids, if I remember correctly, like kind of like X-Men Kids or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was more of a Avengers, X-Men. I really liked the group comics. I didn't read much Fantastic Four, but I read the Defenders, X-Men, Avengers, West Coast Avengers, a little bit of Justice League. I like that because you got like all a whole bunch of superheroes doing all kinds of stuff. So it was like
You liked the story ruining stories.
well, no, I like the idea. I liked it was kind of weird. I thought of it as like uh, I couldn't get the Iron Man comic book and the Captain America comic book and the all the different characters, but I could get the one where they're all together, and that was like kind of like more bang for your buck in a way, but in reality, oftentimes it wasn't
Yeah.
because
Because you got so much shit in the
Yeah, like-
plot that.
you get like 3 frames of Iron Man, and you're like, oh, okay. And yeah, Watchmen. I couldn't even read Watchmen until decades later. I could not find them, and I worked in a comic book store at the time, and they're like, nope, they're all sold out. Sorry, kid. I'm like, what? You can't squeak me one? Like, nope, we're only getting 10, and they've already been paid for. I'm like, oh. And then I forgot about it. And years later, I saw the graphic novel, picked it up, and now a complete set is like, whew, probably about $1,000 for the 10 or 12 issues.
Mm-hmm. Easy. Especially if they're originals. They've reprinted it a few times. So.
Sure. And I did. I saw someone selling the complete collection on eBay, and I put the watch, marker on it, and then a couple days later, a guy offers me like a deal at like $1,500 or something. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to drop $1,500 on 10 comic books. I will never hear the end of it until I'm dead, and then when they sell it, they'll be like, what? It's worth how much?
Yeah, but you won't be able to say that because you'll be dead and you'll be
Yeah.
the one giving yourself shit over it.
Yeah, no. A lot of things like that, I've already put like notes for Jackie or whoever sells it. I paid this much for it. Don't sell it for less than this. You know what? I have the complete Gru line, and I don't want them. If I can find them, I'm sure we could do a trade or something. I don't know.
Rude.
I
What was
did.
Gru about?
It was okay. Remember Mad Magazine?
Yeah.
He was one of the artists, and he's the guy who. Do you remember if you were looking at Mad Magazine, you'd find these little cartoons like hidden.
Okay, yeah.
Sergio Aragonés. He did that and some other stuff. A lot of times he did the fold ups in the back, but it was like if he did Conan,
Okay.
kind of a samurai barbarian kind of guy. Um, I never read them, but I heard they were funny. Just I used to buy a lot of collections back in the day, and that was something I picked up in a guy's collection.
Hmm. Yeah.
I've
I'm
also
looking
done
at this
like the
camera still.
The Dragonlance comic books. Never cared a whit about Dragonlance anything, and they're in there, and they're supposed to be worth a crap ton.
I've got one of the miniatures, the Silver Dragon, with whoever the rider was. That's it. That's all my Dragonlance experience.
And Mark from Mark's Genre Mixer, he actually sent me the complete set of the main character miniatures from Ralph Partha, and I'm like, I
That's
didn't
who
know
made the dragon.
it's like I didn't know what he was sending me, and then he sent it to me, and I'm like, dude, this is like a couple $100, dude. You should. I'll send it back. Um,
Mm.
you know,
Mark,
especially
I did not hit that woman. Every time he comes on the show late, when we do Connell's show, this is like how I respond when he's like, "Hey, Mark, I did not hit that woman."
yeah, I don't know how he did those Dungeon Minister. I don't
And
know.
for anyone that doesn't get it, it's a line from the movie The Room. When the main character comes onto the roof, he says hi to someone named Mark, and then says, "I did not hit her."
Okay, never saw it.
Neither have I. It's just that's a clip that goes around on YouTube a lot.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of those. Jackie's constantly, asking me if I've heard of this guy or that guy, and I'm like, no,
No.
no. The things, we do watch some things that are the same, but that big gap of what we watch is, it's like the difference between Saturday morning cartoons and the nightly news for adults back in, my day. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not watching
Yeah.
Scooby Doo. Sorry, son, I missed it, kind of thing.
Intentionally and on purpose. And
Right.
we'll
Versus,
continue to do so.
did you hear about Watergate? And your kid's like, huh? And I remember that when I was a kid. Every day I'd come home from school. And
Yes, I heard about Watergate. It's
my
bullshit.
mom was just freaking glued to the set with her drink, just
Their drink.
oh yeah, she was
And she's like,
just freaking. I mean, seriously, totally glued.
she's like,
Uh,
"Hey boy, did you hear about Watergate?"
and I'm like, I was like, 7 or 10 or 12 or whatever, and I'm like, so what, try to explain it to me. And I'm
The
like,
bottle was full when she sat down, and there's that much left in it before she gets a drink because she's shaking so much.
what's up, OBS?
I'm just
Apparently,
like,
Dungeon Ministers knows what you're talking about. But I'd get home and that's all she'd be doing. Dinner ain't ready, dinner wouldn't be ready. Just and I now I know where I get that from when I'm watching certain news stories going on right now, and I'm like, I've watched like 15 channels with the same story. Their little 15, 20-minute clip or whatever, or even 5 minutes. I already know as soon as I like click it after like a minute, I'm like, oh, it's that, because their clickbaity titles makes you think it's something brand new, but it's the same thing that's been regurgitated by hundreds of other YouTubers. It's starting to kind of bug me that I'm still falling for it and still watching that crap when I should be painting or more importantly writing. Got it. I got so much to write in a week, Justin. How many pages?
pages of what?
The short story? Well, what's the bare minimum?
I don't know, like 3, I think. I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was like 20 or something.
No, I'd like it if we aimed for around 30, but
Mm-hmm.
you stretch your muscle more that way.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, if you can wrap your thing up in like 5 pages, go right ahead.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm at 4 right now, and I've got probably at least 4 more minimum. But
Yeah.
I know that the fight scene is going to take up a whole page or two, if
Mm.
not
I
4.
take up 5 pages. I don't fucking care.
No, I just I need to get to it tonight. I absolutely have to when we
We
wrap
got
up.
we got
Sorry.
another 2 weeks technically. Another week and a half.
I thought you said it was
Tomorrow's
week
day
4.
5, so week 5. So that's the week after that, and then the week after that. But usually we finish on the 6th. Well, the last time we finished by the 6th day. So whatever. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
So I'm going to tell myself 1 so that I
Yeah.
can get out there and do it because I do want to actually wrap that one up and get back to some other things that I'm working on.
Yeah. Same here, because like I delayed the first 2 weeks, and then I fucking wrote the one scene and the outline for the whole story, and then I haven't gone back to it. I've just been doing other stuff.
Thank you for stopping by, Dungeon Minister. It was good seeing you again.
Yeah.
But now I know you're over on Paint Minis Live. I'll see more of you.
Yeah.
I hope it's a good story. Something with chases and escapes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely want to get to doing my own stuff again because I was having so much fun, and then a bunch of things started happening around here, and I just got totally distracted.
Yeah, same here. But yeah, it's like the next one is your pick again, unless this guy wants to pick something.
Yeah, it should be this guy because he's been so quiet crafting. Think of a good sci-fi or whatever, preferably
Fantasy.
sci-fi.
Preferably sci-fi, but fantasy is okay.
Yeah.
I don't care if you want to pick a high romance or a freaking period piece, but Shadow will be like, nope. So
Yeah, I'll find a way to turn it into a western. So, just saying.
Well, I was just
you got 2
thinking
weeks
the next,
to think of it, bro.
Yeah.
Well-
we don't need to, because who knows? You may think of something and then tell us, and then we're like, oh, that sounds great, and then when it's time to, show your cards, you're like, oh no, I changed my mind. Like what?
Yeah.
I got 13 stories I'm writing.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is I was thinking about writing another something for my game world before you guys announced Big Stumpy Robots, and that immediately inspired the Paul Bunyan designation Paul Bunyan story, which I'm working on now.
I could write a Skies of Arcadia story.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know what the world setting is about, so
It's just pirate ships that fly.
okay. Like, what are the rules to the world, though?
Everybody can learn a single. It's based off a game world, but basics of it is there are 6 colored suns. Each one represents an element. Most people have 2 of the colors within them, and they can cast those spells. They can cast spells from those colors. There's also devil fruits, which I call sun fruits. Ability that's not meant to be as powerful as magic, called Hardium, which is just your inner focus. And very rarely, people are born with the ability to use all 6 elements, and these are mages, the equivalent of Mage the Ascension, just not with as many rules.
Okay, like Gandalf or whatever.
Yeah, and all of it happens on flying Victorian-style ships. Some of them all the way to being made metal, because some of them have advanced technology to make metal ships.
Mm.
And
Ironclads.
Yeah, ironclads, and all the islands are floating. There are seas, but they're on the giant continents.
Okay.
And that should be about it for what's needed anyway.
Mac, if you're going to ask me about your second story, I didn't get to it, but I'll probably read it tonight after dinner.
Sorry, Sorry, I'll let you finish.
I do that a lot lately. I don't start a project of reading because I think it's going to take like way longer than I thought. And then when I do, I'm like, for example, I read something this morning that I thought was going to take me like all afternoon, and because it was a graphic novel, I was done in
10 minutes.
10 minutes. I was like, what? What was
Yeah.
the rest? And I'm like, what the shit?
Yeah, I
I'm
get that a
all-
lot too. I'm thinking of like a thick, dense freaking book, and it's just like 4 pages.
Yeah. A couple of things I did forget that need to be mentioned. Beneath the Red Sun, they are steampunk Egyptians.
Yeah.
Beneath the Blue Sun, they are windpunk Japanese. Beneath the Purple Sun, they are Vikings with Roman efficiency. And the most heavily magical users, almost their entire society revolves around refractions, is what their magic is called, because it's all refractions of light. The Yellow Kingdom, beneath the Yellow Kingdom, it's a monarchy that they're the ones that have the metal ships.
Yeah.
But with that said, if you don't want to touch any of them, I literally wrote into the book that you can find any culture across the entire planet in smaller nations. Therefore, Shadow could literally make a Western and still set it in my world.
Okay.
Yeah, if that's what you go for next month, then I'll figure something out. I'm not worried about it. I love the idea of the old Spelljammers and things like that, and Space 1899, that sort of thing. I'll make it work if that's what you choose.
Yeah. You could always write in that without touching on elements, right? Because that's how the stories and worlds work.
Yeah.
Well, you don't need to cram everything in a world into a story in that world.
Yep. I already have. Believe it or not, I already have my idea.
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
Well, there are a couple of I still have to write them into the game, but there are supposed to be some encouragements for people to not use magic altogether, just for focus on their inner focus for their abilities. So if you wanted to, it's just leaving out the elements other than saying, oh, there's a colored sun above you and a primary sun.
Yeah, I don't know. We got a couple of weeks to before we need to think of ideas. So
yeah.
Well, Shadow's also got the basic of my game in paper form.
Yes, it's right under my desk. Right, I can see it from here.
Yeah. The only thing that's changed in it is rules. The rest of the backstory thus far has not changed. If anything, I've expanded upon it because there is one little thing that changed in the original. I call the people beneath the Romans that live in Iceland, but then I talked to Kai and he pointed out, could you actually have Romans in an ice society? I mean, based off of the way Romans work. Kind of, yes, but they need to have a barbarian attitude to be able to survive that type of thing. So they're Vikings.
Why are you borrowing like literally whole cloth from Earth?
2 reasons. One, familiarity.
Okay.
And 2, trying to come up with brand new cultures is a lot harder than I was expecting it to be.
Okay.
Rename them though, right? Like, don't call them Romans.
Yeah.
That's the description. They have their own name as a people.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce it right now because I literally made it up whole cloth and it's sitting in my book somewhere.
Okay. You should probably work on that.
Yeah. Because I don't like doing that. I don't like being in games like that, unless it literally is Earth, and even then, it better be about sometime after 1885. I'm gonna say.
You can do that. It's just you gotta abstract the flavor so it's not like so obvious to
Oh
the
yeah,
player.
it's not like with the old Star Trek episodes where they just go
Sh-
down to the
Show
planet
up in Tombstone.
wardrobe by Department 57 that was, the Roaring Twenties costume
Yeah.
department.
Yeah, but you're still working on it, so
Oh yeah.
you got a lot of time to go through passes and go. This could be a little
Well,
better.
George,
This could be a
get
little
a hold
better.
of TCG and maybe he'll put you in the playtest group or something like that. I played in his world in a one shot, and uh, it reminded me a lot of One Piece. Mind you, I've never seen a single episode, but it reminded me a cross between One Piece, Suikoden 3, and Skies of Arcadia.
Guys,
Well, it was definitely heavily influenced by One Piece and Skies of Arcadia. I mean, basically, I literally just stole Skies of Arcadia and reskinned it. I mean, Skies of Arcadia is definitely set up differently than mine. They have no seas in Skies of Arcadia because there's no continents actually large enough.
Mhm.
And the one,
Well, you might
one
want to call
continent
them
that is
lakes.
completely barren of all life.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I played Skies of Arcadia, but that was the game on PS2, right?
And Dreamcast and PlayStation and uh,
They
Maybe it was
basically had a director's
PlayStation.
cut for the GameCube.
Hmm.
yeah, I still have it,
That was fun.
and the strategy guide.
The
You
GameCube
should get a
was fun
screen
up to
a
the point
screen
you
capture and play it on your channel.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat. We need people playing more retro games online, so the games don't disappear forever.
Oh,
So as time goes on, it gets
oh.
harder to get those games and the game systems playing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's funny. I go to this swap meet uh, every once in a while where we live, and there's two different vendors that sell nothing but old video games, right?
Yeah,
But
Mhm.
because and I've told you guys about this before, it's it's your usual parking lot, but they've got these little wooden buildings that are permanent, and you can put your stuff in there and just lock it up over, the course of the week, so it's still there when you get there. But this place is like got some sort of dust devil that lives there, so everybody's got to like water down their little patch of land in the hopes that everything that they're trying to sell doesn't become encrusted in dust. And every time I
Mhm.
go to one of these guys and I pull out a DVD or a movie or a video game, it's just like crusted, just like a millimeter minimum of dust. And I'm like, I'm not buying this. No, you can't keep it in decent shape. Keep it clean and tidy.
Mhm.
It's not supposed to be stored outside. It's an electronics product. Just, but and they're asking like top dollar for these ancient games. And I'm like, if it was sealed, I wouldn't pay that price.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. And a lot of those guys, they get their stuff from like eBay low bids or lot purchases, or they'll go garage sale hopping, and
Just
they'll
the
be
fake
like
garage sales.
Yeah.
50 fucking cents for the thing, and then they want like 39.99 or
oh yeah, it's like
$274.
Yep.
it's
And
like
there's some games out
yeah,
there that are amazingly high priced and hard to get. Like
Yeah.
Persona number one, I've got, and I could probably get like $500 for it for a PlayStation One game. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I like the Persona games, but after a while they're very samey. A
It tends to
lot
be
of
the
lot of
Yeah.
grinding. And there's another game that I really wish I would have never freaking sold called Brigandine. You guys remember that one? It was like
no,
it was a war game where there's like a bunch of nations, and you do go to battle, but most of your army is like big monsters like dragons and chimera and wyverns and crap like that. Depending on your country, has different allotment of certain monsters, and you get NPCs, and then you send them out on missions, and You don't know what they do, but they'll come back sometimes with a cool magic item or something. And last time I looked, it was like 150 bucks, PlayStation One game, and
Hmm.
it was a really good strategy game. And I think I only beat it like once or twice. Won the war and conquered the world kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
And
it's like one of my absolute favorite games from when I was a child. Buck Bumble, $250 at least for the 64. That was also one of those games that you could literally play for days before you finished. Not just because it was hard, but like if you were a master of the game, it took you 2 or 3 days to get through every single level because it had over 100 levels.
hey, Raven, why aren't you in here?
And as for people buying cheap and selling for real expensive, uh,
Raven.
I've seen some stuff online where it's like, damn, I wish I had the money to get that right now because I could see it was an older box of Warhammer. It's like, I'll bet I could sell that later for more money if at the price tag it is now. It's like, I just don't got the money. And if I'm going to spend money on miniature, it's going to be a miniature I can mess with, not one I have to put off to the side because I don't have the space for putting it off to the side. I barely have the space for displaying these things once I get them painted anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a damned if I do,
Yeah,
damned if I don't situation.
I've got that problem with the display space. I'm working
So
on that now, though.
I bought a couple of Tyranids that I've seen videos that you can make two out of the parts that you get. One, the Games Workshop version, and one you make yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that.
That's one thing I gotta do is like fucking get back onto learning 3D sculpting because I thought making creatures like Tyranids that are modular would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Well, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I like those things like when they're part swappable and like you just get these arms and these legs and
Yeah.
make the parts cheap and you just keep pumping out
Yeah,
new versions of each of them.
Yeah. I don't remember the name of the one that I bought, but what I seen online, basically, you make a floating gas version of them, and that's just a tentacle, a shell, and a head, or tentacle.
Oh, like the Overmind from StarCraft.
Yeah, and it's just a bunch of gas beneath it.
Yeah.
That I really like that look, so that's the one I'm going to copy for that. The other one, he made a version. I'm not going to for the. This is the high. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I managed to get a Tyranid Hive Guardian. No. Anyway,
Is
I
it the
managed
one
to
with
get
the big cannon on the back?
No, it's the it's right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, it's one of them that can either have guns or swords.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I've
No.
the only one I have is the I think the Carnifex and a couple of Tyranid warriors from the very first run of them.
Oh,
Those are both
back when they were
ugly
still
and cool
metal.
at the same
Yeah,
exact time.
Oh,
and they've come so far, in quality. The ones I have, literally in comparison, look like a kid made them out of freaking modeling clay, let it
yeah.
harden or something. They just
Even the first generation plastics looked
Yeah. That's what it was.
so
It was
much
a
better.
Hive Tyrant. I
Half
had to check
time.
it out. So it's bugging myself. But I got it for literally half the price you would buy it brand new, going through eBay.
Yeah, you can do that. There are usually some good deals on like I wanted this one miniature here by the rest of the sprue,
Yeah.
which has usually got like 3 or 4 miniatures on it.
Well, in
Uh,
this case, I could see why the box was crushed.
oh yeah, you're throwing
Yeah,
that
yeah,
out
but
anyway, right? Like you're fucking throwing that out anyway. What do you
Yeah,
care?
exactly. And then got some Sisters of Battle.
Ooh,
A whole like
I
the paint.
swear, I swear the original range of them were all topless.
Really.
I
I got
swear.
what's on Games Workshop, the $60 to $70 Saint, the $35 to $40.
No, the
The
Games
$50.
Workshop used to do freaking models of topless chicks, bro.
oh no,
Oh
I
yeah,
know,
Yeah.
especially Slanish and um, what was the other one?
you can.
The circus ones,
Harlequins? No,
Harlequins,
no, 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 no. I
they-
want to say it was like I actually have this really really rare box set of Games Workshop minis, the Elric and Melbourne box set.
you're gonna have to show that off sometime because I've never seen those.
Yeah, it's like 10 models of the main characters, and
Hmm.
yeah, I lucked on that. I think I made
Did they have any slaves blowing horns
no. It's just the
or
main characters
shrieking
like
in
the Red
pain?
Archer, Elric, Yurkun, Moonglum, things like that. Nothing really crazy like that. Although I think there was a line of Elric miniatures in blisters, but I couldn't be for sure about that. But it's it's a little box set with 10 minis in it, and
Now, you remember the first edition of plastic dreadnoughts? Yeah, the big chunky ones with
yeah,
the tumble legs. Yeah,
I've got one of the original metal and
yeah.
maybe original plastic.
I've got a Furiosa around here somewhere. The one with the two hands,
Uh,
metal. Um, which they also did in metal.
yeah, mine's got a gun and a hand, I think.
I never got why they did metal dreadnoughts after the plastic ones came out because they kept releasing metal ones after the plastic ones came out for faction specific versions like
Yeah,
uh,
Space Wolves.
Space Wolves. Yeah, had one which is I have a Space Wolf one, but they released that in metal instead of plastic. Like
Other than the fact that I think a lot of those actually used a lot of the same parts,
they did.
so you could
Um,
just sculpt like one panel here and there and an arm or something, and you're good to
No,
go.
no, the front piece would always have like things added onto
Right.
it.
That's one of the
Uh,
panels I meant.
yeah, no, not the sarcophagus plate. It always came with different sarcophagus plates, but I mean like the actual front panel of the chest
Uh-huh.
piece had different stuff. But
Because
like,
like the
why?
Space Wolves had like wolf tails or some shit hanging, little
Yeah,
beads and
yeah,
necklaces and
which
junk.
always snapped off. But what I'm getting at is why wouldn't they just like do that as a sprue and add that to the normal?
They might have
They
done
did
stuff
that.
like that
They
in
did
the
that with
magazines.
they did that with the space marines, right?
Yep.
You'd buy the 5 or 10 pack of space marines, and if you bought the Dark Angel one, it was the same fucking 10 space marines, but with an extra sprue for bits you could glue onto them, like alternative shoulder pads or alternative
I miss the
helmets.
old Games Workshop when you could literally just call or write them and send them a money order or a check for just these specific parts and
I tried doing that once for the arm, just the arm, because I wanted to have all my space marines have 2 arms, but the weapons instead of the hands.
uh
But I looked at the pricing and it was like cheaper to just buy the kit again.
oh, okay.
Uh, and that was like late 90s, right?
Yeah.
Like just buy the plastic kit again.
You
And
know,
it
I've
was
been
like only
for,
$5 more.
Yeah, I hate going through
backpacks.
the old GW magazines, just because it's just
The pricing,
well, not just the pricing, just the
and the
whole
variety.
spirit, the whole spirit of the hobby. That their version, they created a big chunk of the pie, and it was so they have no idea what they lost in the way
Destroyed
of in the way of
culture.
a rapport between them and us.
Hmm.
You know, the it's like they suddenly got it in their head they were freaking rock stars.
Well, they went financial, right? They became a business based on
Publicly
financialism,
traded and all that.
instead.
But they could have stayed or kept certain aspects of that just camaraderie. Yeah,
Hmm.
you know. But no,
Yeah,
they
it's like
just
But they have a fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders, bro.
yeah,
Is to destroy their business for an extra 3 cents. Like,
I don't know. It there were some good guys, Andy Chambers and Rick Priestley and those guys.
The oh fuck, the Perrys. Wasn't the Perrys? It was the Perrys, right? Perry Ministries. They used to work there. Oh fuck. Shadwell.
Sorry, yeah, there were the Priestleys, um, just the core guys, even some of the up and comers. It was just it was such a great time to be in this hobby. They were putting out quality games and just encouraging you to add to it
Yeah,
as opposed
well,
to only buy it from them.
the point I was going to get at, I've made this point several times. That old Dreadnought, old Stompy, the not the original, but the one we were talking about.
Yeah.
I always wish BattleTech had been in that scale, man. Had come like that. You'd buy a mech and it'd come in a box like that, like the plastic kit. Um,
That would have been fun as hell.
yeah, and
Uh,
if you were doing just a Lance of 4, you could fit that in an old school lunchbox, right? Maybe you could get your rule book in there too. And that game would have been so much more awesome if it had been in that scale.
Hey Justin, do they sell Bear paint and primer where you are?
Bear paint and primer, like the company Bear.
Yeah,
Yes.
I recommend their primer. It is their spray primer. It is much cheaper than a
Yes.
gamer type, but it will
It's a lot
dry
thicker.
flat. I find it to be a lot as long as I don't spray it on too thick. Most of the time, it sits flat enough I don't lose detail.
I don't remember Gavin, but I'll take your word for it.
I
You
had a-
made me think when you're talking about the dreadnoughts, the bigger scale, mech. There was a game, Armored Core, that used.
It's a little bit bigger. It was only a little bit bigger than BattleTech.
Was it?
Yeah.
I could have swore they were like action figure, like 8-inch action
Armored
figures.
Core. I'll look it up.
Because I went to a convention, mind you, this was
Armored
almost
Core
20 years ago.
miniatures. Okay. Because I know Armored Core, the video game, right? Was it based off of that?
Yep.
Yeah. Because it had some of their models, like their model kit models. They were like Gundam size, but the plastic was really cheap and they would snap like no tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know if you're seeing that because they came like you could get extra weapons for those model kits as like sprues. I think still have some of them around here. That you could just add on to them like modular parts, but yeah, they would break like no tomorrow. But still, they weren't they were. Cause I'm not seeing a game like
Really?
board
Maybe
game.
it was a different game, but I
Yeah.
kid you not, they were. Um,
I was thinking the one that they had the cartoon for that you've talked about before.
Shadow, I know you're from one of your previous videos. You're a little tired of painting Dungeons and Laser stuff, but have you seen the Ramparts? What is it? Wolverine tank.
yeah, I've got like 4 of them.
I just ordered one today. It's going to be my Christmas present to my brother-in-law.
Yeah, I got in on. People like me were the reason you could no longer do what they used to do. If you could order multiple Kickstarters, like the smallest Kickstarter, and you get all the free stuff. So I did it to where I got 6 sets of stretch goals for like one of their first Kickstarters. So I ended up with 6 of those tanks, and then I sent one to Bo, and I sent one to Brian. and Brian regifted it to Bo. I was just like, you fucker, dude. Because those are hard to come by. They're very
Oh yeah.
expensive now. But the
Well,
cool thing is in my opinion, they are. But the Epic Warpath game by Mantic is actually using the Wolverine tank and a bunch of models from Archon Studio. So it's all going to transfer to a 6 millimeter, Epic Space Marine style game, which I'm really looking forward to because I watched a couple of playthroughs and it plays very much like Epic, and it's all new stuff. And you know,
and actually, the tanks aren't too bad now. They're only $31.
oh really? They were like Uh, I want to say they were like 39, but then the shipping is what was going to kill. It was going to be like $20. And like, I'm not paying $50 for a tank.
Yeah,
Just
Mm.
I was
Well, if
gonna
you were playing
order-
Warhammer, you would.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was gonna order
There's
off
an
their
extra
website.
40 on
Then
it.
they said, "Oh, you got to create an account before you can order." It's like, oh god, I got so many accounts in so many places. I'll do it later. I'll just get off of eBay, and then I see the.
did you see the Walker mechs they have? I forget what they're called. Uh, they were
Oh,
nice little mechs. They were
yeah,
nice.
I actually wouldn't mind getting one of those, and it looks like something you could proxy for a Mechanicus in Warhammer.
Or Dust Tactics, it would easily fit in there. I
Yeah.
got two of them, and the cool thing about it is it's made where it could either be a two-legged chicken walker or a four-legged hound walker.
Yeah.
And all you do is just slap off the four-legged. Both legs are on one peg.
hmm
The left and the fore and hind leg are on one little thing, and you just pop them off. And okay, now it's chicken walker. So I got two. So I've got one that's a chicken walker and one that's got two, and it had a couple of different alternate weapons. So they look like almost different mechs, but at a moment's notice, you can just okay. Now I got two of the same one.
hmm
What I'm looking for big on my list though when it comes to mechs is that freaking four-legged from Vor. You remember that one, Justin?
4.
VOR. Did you used to play that?
I played Void.
Oh, Void. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, Void. Uh,
Um,
remember that big, chunky, turtle-looking?
from what faction?
Uh, I don't remember.
Void War game.
I did see a box set of the faction that had that walker in it and a bunch of other stuff. Like, I'm not paying $100 just to get the one mech. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially when, if I look around 3D print, I bet I can find the exact same mech someone's making now for pennies on the dollar.
Well, probably. As I forgot who said it. Might have been James. Might have been someone else I watch. If you look hard enough, you will find every single miniature that's already been made somewhere in the 3D printing world,
Well, some variation of it or something
some
similar.
variation of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to get kind of scary in a few years when literally these big companies are just nice, George, just being hammered by the 3D industry.
Especially with how fast AI generated 3D models are getting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing that's getting better and better every day.
Oh yeah. They've already got. It's already good enough that if you have the know-how, you can go in and fix what the AI couldn't get right.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the scanner technology improving.
Oh
yeah. There are DIY solutions that aren't that bad if you're not that incompetent with tools.
Come on, pup, let's go back inside.
There's even apps that are meant for that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Oh,
And someone I've talked to, I forgot who, No, I didn't talk to them. I was left a comment on their video, and they never got back to me. Said that the 3D printing industry was going to kill miniatures. It's like, no.
No, they're
Uh,
just going to be big 3D miniature providers who are going to take over. They'll just
Uh-huh.
do
yeah,
it for you.
it's just gonna become less dominated by. Well, there's always gonna be some fanboy that will buy only games, because there are just fanboys that
Oh,
will
yeah.
buy only Games Workshop products without even
There's
looking at
also
other things, because they're snubbing their nose like doucheweasels.
there's also people who only buy metal, and there's only people who only buy.
Those
certain
are
types
old
of plastic.
guys. Those are old guys, and they're dying off.
Hey,
That is true.
ain't going anywhere.
Yeah,
But
well, you'll be the
I'm of
last guy only buying metal, because
well, at some point, the 3D printers are going to start printing metal, and then
yeah,
we'll
but
be able to have the best of both worlds.
I don't know.
Imagine,
Fuck.
ooh,
I gotta
imagine
find. I gotta find this. Zeno 3.14 pi was a character from the Tyrannosaurus in Void. I used to have this model. I gotta find where I put it. Buy a new one.
I still have like probably a dozen or more boxes of Void miniatures still, and blisters never opened.
Uh, did they do blisters? I thought they only did metal.
No, well, there's blister packs of like one or two
Oh
miniatures.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
I've
That's
got a
how I got most of
crap
my
ton of
stuff.
them. I've got some of the Coralon pieces. I've
Oh,
got,
I never liked the Corlon.
yeah, they're goofy, but I get it.
And they revamped them right away too.
Yeah,
Like
that Hydra thing, but it was a
Yeah.
Hydra, but the torso of the lizard men, like on the end of a
Yeah.
snake that was attached to a bigger reptilian body. I was just like, oh my god, this is so dumb. It was so
That-
dumb.
yeah, that sounds ridiculous. Oh yes, that is so scary. It's a Hydra, but its middle is so thin that you can cut it through with a battle axe easily.
Yeah, well, it's a sci-fi game, but you can cut it through with a couple of bolts. I don't know if you're showing it off. I'm looking for this thing that you were talking about, the spider tank.
It wasn't spider. It was like four legged.
Yeah, it's still a spider tank.
Do I still have it up here? I used to have it up here, but I think I put it back downstairs. And then I've got this one that I do have up here. This is a nice one.
Something I actually
Oh,
need to see.
I think there's a junker.
Maybe. Don't remember.
That
I
front
think
cowl is kind of Syntha looking, but
I've got another one still in the
legs.
box.
yeah.
Lizard people. But this one was it was weird until I finally figured out how to put the legs together because they're so weird in the
Yeah.
way. But it's a
all
nice
metal.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they did some resin part kits
Yep,
where they had
the
like
one
big
I'm
chunk.
talking about is all resin.
It's odd because they usually did metal resin mixes with resin kits.
Yeah, biggest metal miniature I painted was a bone
Here's
dragon.
the ones I was just talking about from Archon Studio. That's it.
Yeah, that one looks nicer. And you see, that's what I'm saying about that size. If the fucking BattleTech had been about that size,
But then you get the other legs and it's
yeah,
not bad.
yeah. I'm not a huge fan of chicken walkers.
No, nor am
Oh.
I. But you know, whatever. They've been around since before Star Wars. I'm certain with Gundam or something like that. Okay, I honestly can't picture them being able to walk without falling over unless they were
Yeah.
super fat. I mean, they'd have to be really fast and agile to make it work.
I think that was the point.
Mhm.
They were supposed to look that way.
The idea of the chicken walker is possible, but the biggest hurdle that like for anything that has a human style walking is our ability to both balance and then immediately correct ourselves with how flexible our joints are.
Yeah.
They can do it, but a lot of robots have to be designed specifically for one version of that movement.
Even even BattleTech two-leggeds, you know, highly improbable that we're going to be able to get them to work the way we see them in the cartoons.
Well, human shaped has a higher chance of being able to balance more properly than something like the walkers from Star Wars. Because if you have arms or balance points, you can swing them to help counterbalance what direction you want.
And of course, the worst of them all is the three-legged walkers. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me.
Dining room chair, anybody? I mean, dining room chair. Kitchen stool, anybody?
Yeah. The Mars attacks, Martian three-legged walkers, just like, no. It's just not going to. I mean, it would be the slowest moving walker you could possibly imagine to get that to work right, I think. Or it would have to be like insect-like fast.
I don't know. It's one of those things that until someone actually built it, you don't really know. But
Yeah, I suppose you put the right guys on the job, maybe it'd work.
Well, they already have. I don't know how independent it is from its scaffolding, but they actually have full-sized Gundams, movable Gundams in the Bondi factory.
No, not the factory. It's at a fairground, and that thing is required to be held up by a crane. It just looks like.
Well, like I said, I didn't know how independent of its framing it was.
Its feet don't actually touch the ground. It just makes like walking motions.
Okay.
But
still, that is still a step in that direction, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Sure. I think they're going to probably find. I think they're probably going to find that like 6 or 8-legged walkers are going to be more feasible. Whoop, whoop. I think that's the one.
Is that the thing?
That is it. Yep, that is it.
That's a junker robot.
Yeah, I really like that one. Except mine, the neck, where the neck connects to the body, something weird happened to it, and I'd have to just get like the biggest chunk of putty or something to get it to connect.
Oh, they were such the sloppiest molded fucking things you'd ever had. My friend got the one that's on the back of the turtle. This actually might be Syntha, actually, because I think the one my friend had was the Junker one, where it was like a lizard creature, and then there was like a cabin on the top of it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and we sat there one afternoon trying to figure out how to put the thing together because the pegs were like all the wrong shape for everything, and it had no instructions. It just had a picture of like this is how it goes together. You know, the one picture instructions that they would put on some of those things, for like 30 pieces. Just figure it out, you stupid little kid.
Yep.
But apparently they're still making it. But somebody's got the molds and they're still casting it and doing like scenario boxes or whatever, where you get 2 forces.
That's cool.
I noticed that in the Facebook feed.
It played a lot like Warzone, so
yeah.
You know, and that's what's weird. So many of those really cool,
very small skirmish game based around a D10 or D8, was it? D10? It was D10.
I could have swore it was a D20.
No,
for some. Well, I'm thinking Warzone. But Warzone actually tried to use as many different dice as possible. But for most of your combat stuff, it was a D20.
Yeah. No, it was a D10.
Like most of those games were like supposed to be 25 mil, but they were a little bit bigger. You know, obviously like off, but not quite 28. So they're you know, you're only going to use them for that game. You know, your buddy and yourself, you can still play the game, but you're never going to be able to really use those pieces for other games or role playing or one-page rules kind of things where you're mixing stuff because it's just going to be just oddball. Everything's going to look, you know, not even remotely uniform.
Oh my!
Yeah.
I already got miniatures that are going to be like that. I didn't realize it when I bought them. I like the miniatures. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't realize when I
Yeah.
bought the Iron Wind miniatures, they're basically retro miniatures. They're all 28 millimeters, built-in bases and stuff like that. It's like, oh no, I'm going to have some miniatures. I like sculpts, so it's not going to get rid of them. But it's like, oh, I'm going to have some odd sizes among my 32 millimeter primary Reaper and Games Workshop.
Yeah,
I thought
it's
Reaper
like
was 28.
it's like
No,
the
ones I've
red
been getting 32.
Really?
was the red fuck, I can't remember what they're called. Fucking the dwarf was like half the size of my pinky finger first knuckle. You get one from anywhere else. It's like 3 times the size.
Maybe these guys are unique.
But it's the same scale, right?
Let me double check.
25, 28.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's why all my 25 mil stuff is uh, sitting in boxes because as much of the 25 mil stuff as I have from back in the day, I can't incorporate it. It's because
I stand
Grenadier,
corrected.
Ralpartha, and Heritage all had their own version of 25 mil. Some
Yeah.
things are thicker, thinner. Most of them, the height is fine, but everything else is just like, yeah, that guy's got a big head. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Or those guys look, really spindly, and they're humans. They look more like elves.
I'm looking for this model though. I had this before, but I don't know where it is.
Oh, yeah, I might actually have that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do somewhere, but that was one of my favorite models in the Syntha range.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, send me that image later. I'll see if I've got it.
Okay, I accidentally lied to you. They don't do 32. All my miniatures are 35.
35.
Yeah,
I
35
have a-
was a very common
I
scale.
have a
What the fuck?
picture right here.
Is that because they're in line with GW or
No, GW is 32.
what the fuck? I can't think of anything that I have that I would suspect being that, unless Dungeons and Lasers are 35, but I don't think they are.
Most
I don't know. I
companies
have
are actually pushing the 30 to 40, 35 to 40 pound these days. They
And
just
that's
still
from
call it
and that's from
scale
feet
creep.
to eyes.
Yeah, scale creep, you know.
Huh.
from you measure from feet to eyes. I thought they were measured from the bottom to the very tip top. But that case, they are 32.
Yeah, no, it's measured from heel to eye line.
Yeah,
Well, in that case, they're 32. My mistake.
because
Yeah.
if you go much higher, you never know what you're going to get with a helmet and things like that.
Yeah.
Horns and mohawks and weird shit.
Well, that's originally because the Prussian helmets were. People weren't doing mohawks and horns back when that standard was
Well, I was thinking
created.
sci-fi and fantasy.
Well, look, people weren't doing mohawks and horns back when that standard was created. It was just Prussian army men, right? In the wargaming world, Under the Dragon is nothing but Prussian dudes down.
Okay.
Fucking well, you know the Terry Pratchett Discworld, Under
Yeah.
the Turtle, there are elephants all the way down. Or is it Under the Elephants there's turtles all the way down? Whatever it is, I don't remember.
Something like that. I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, in the wargaming world, it's Prussian men all the way down. Yeah.
Made my
So
final
what have you been
payment.
working on lately, Justin? Painting anything?
I told you I put in a new story on my YouTube channel.
Uh huh.
My
I
other
was
one.
wondering if you're painting anything lately.
Nah. I've been designing a new desk in a woodworking program, and I probably won't make it. I'll probably just pull the one out of the hallway.
I made
I
my
gotta
final
really get
payment.
some fucking shelves and shit.
Yeah. I made my
Organizing.
final.
TCG go.
Sorry. I made my final payment for the Dungeons and Lasers Kickstarter today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I got to deal with that. I forgot about that. That kind of sucks. Totally forgot about that.
Well, it's
How
not
does
technically not due to the 27th. It's just I feel it's easier to get the money out of my account as soon as possible, so I don't accidentally spend it on something else.
yeah.
I'm
I
looking
know what
forward
you
to getting
mean.
that in the mail though.
Same here.
That new Kickstarter is really going to change a lot of people's opinions on a lot of things when it comes to terrain, especially their competition. They're going to be like, oh, we better freaking get
I
with the
want that machine. I want that fucking
Yeah, that'd be pretty
um,
cool.
that
painter.
planing painter. Yeah, it looks like a benchtop planer
Yeah,
for wood leveling or shaping, right? But
man, that's pretty cool. I definitely have to agree with you, Shadow. It's going to change things because I love painting miniatures. Admittedly, I'm not thrilled with the idea of painting terrain. I don't know why, but terrain just doesn't interest me nearly as much as the miniatures do.
No, that
yeah,
makes total sense. Actually, it's just scenery. You know, it's not. It doesn't have the character. It doesn't have the personality. But you know,
it can
yeah. When you see the new Dungeons and Lasers, I mean, they're caves. Okay, how much personality can you put into a cave? Well,
as much as you want.
these guys, there's the demon cave, there's the spider cave, there's the old mines, I think, and there's the goblin caves, and each one has more personality than most of the terrain out there, almost combined. It's
Yeah,
just, and
yeah,
with the ability to mix and match and tear it down and reconfigure it, or mix and match with different terrain sets. You're gonna finally, when caverns and caves and things like that in like the role playing world has always been like a pain in the ass to map and things like that, but also just kind of lackluster. Oh, okay, now we're in the cavern part of the dungeon. Okay, well, how do you describe it? How do you make this tunnel different than the last tunnel? Okay, this one's got a lantern hanging from it. Okay, remember the lantern? Simple things like that were all we had. Now they've gone and showed, you know, just all kinds of crazy stuff that can be in these different areas
oh,
that'll
yeah.
that'll really make it memorable. You will
It,
remember that cave, that cavern, more so than that trap room, a couple of levels above in the
I
in the
fucking
actual dungeon.
hate hate trap rooms, bro.
I know it's
and
ridiculous.
this and the cave Kickstarter also worked out for me in another way. I missed out on their previous Kickstarter, and since they were saying, "Hey, you could basically back the previous Kickstarter and get all the backable goodies from it," so it's like,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't get any of the free stuff, but hey, I'll still take all those.
Well, you can still buy the free stuff. That's what's also great
Oh yeah, that
yeah.
is
is
true.
I was
they'll sell you the box of all the free stuff for like 30-40 bucks, and you're like, all right, cool, I'm in. I didn't miss shit.
Yeah,
um yeah, I was yelling at somebody on Reddit, fucking Reddit, um, because I saw this cool 3D printable miniature, and it was a Kickstarter, and they didn't make it like it delivered through um, My Mini Factory,
Okay.
right? Which is one of the biggest buy 3D like
Yeah.
printable files. Um, and they're not selling it like, okay, your thing is, and they directed me to their new Kickstarter and said, well, you can add it, you can buy it through that. It's like, I don't like your new Kickstarter. I don't care about your giant axe uh, stick side barbarian chick. I want the 3 witch chicks from the previous one, and I want the diorama. Just put it on fucking My Mini Factory for an extra $4 like everyone else does, because you didn't back the Kickstarter, and let me buy the fucking thing. You
Nope.
know, it's like, we'll think about that. It's like, no, don't think about it. Just fucking do it.
I was looking at a couple of minis last night. Um, they were drow. It was funny. They were drow sorceresses, right?
Hmm.
But they're white.
Yeah, just how they were painted or whatever.
They painted them like flesh colored, instead of drow. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I still
Well,
want them, and I might even paint them like that, because I rarely do that. Like if you ever notice my miniature collection, all my
Yeah.
elves usually have blue or green skin,
yeah, I
because
didn't notice that.
it's like, because they're my elves, they're different. So you can
Yeah.
go Tolkien off somewhere else. Mine are different.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
remember when I first started doing that, a buddy of mine was like, "That's dumb," and I'm like, "Just deal with it, dude."
you paint your elves how you want.
Yep,
Well, they're your miniatures. You paint them how you want, right? And
yep. And there's reasons for it, but I just exactly, and when I was looking last night for miniatures, the kind of stuff that I was looking at, can't afford it, but the things that I was putting in my watch list were all they tended to be drow, because I was looking for a specific look for the aesthetics, not the paint job. The paint job I'm going to do myself, and sometimes I'm like, that's a pretty good paint job. I might try that with a little bit of this and that, but for the most part, I've got very specific aesthetics for my worlds,
yeah, what you're looking
my
for.
head canon, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the piece I was looking for. Uh, I know you don't care because you're showing covers of Ratchet on your show. So
Let me pull this up.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's
Now
the
you can.
piece I was looking for. Yeah,
Okay.
but the fucking weirdo isn't selling it.
It's a nice
It's odd.
piece.
Yeah.
A couple of nice pieces.
Yeah. A couple of nice pieces.
But yeah, uh, believe it or not, no, sorry. The reason I did that is because of Star Blazers.
Star Blazers?
Yep,
Oh, painting them blue?
yep. The Gamelons. I'm like, oh, space elves, awesome. Nobody knew what I was talking about back then. Mind you, this
Mm.
is 40 years ago. But I'm like, yeah, I like that. Or the Andorians, or
Just 40?
well, that's. I think that's roughly how old Star Blazers is. Um,
Shut up, I'm making out that you're old.
Speaking of old jokes, Bill from Paint Minis Lives sent me 25 different bingo cards,
Sweet.
the PDF. And there's a couple of things I want to go over with him, see if he can change it, because there's a couple of jokes that never come up anymore. Um, so it might
Such
be
as?
uh, Australia doesn't exist,
But Australia doesn't exist.
right? But that one never comes up because James
Yeah.
L never shows his ugly head anymore, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it's a
that's sad.
shame. It's a shame. A lot of people miss him, but he's
This
doing other
guy
things.
included.
But there's some other ones that I'm like, Yeah, it's been a while now. Now like one of them was full frontal. That kind of went where it should, but at the same time, when the cards start getting into the hands of people, it's like people are gonna, you know, try to make those conversations come back.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I get it. The
You
other
know
thing,
me, I'm a fan of a repetitive joke that's
the other
long
thing
runs.
is it seemed like he could use. Oh, we need to get some more uh, jokes in there so that it's not just a matter of because there's 25 spots on the card minus the free spot, but it seems like they're just repeated over, and we need to add a few more so that you know there's
Okay,
chances that
close up.
you won't get a because the way it looks, you'd almost like if we did a regular Saturday show, your bingo card would be full by the end of the night.
That's
You
the
know what I
point.
mean? No, I mean every square, not just hopefully that one line spelling bingo.
Oh yeah.
So we need to get a few more.
Well, there is no
Variable.
actual prize, so it doesn't
Well,
fucking
I was
matter.
actually thinking of, like I said at the beginning of the show, using it to get rid of some of my old craft projects. It's like, okay, tonight's prize for this game is this thing that I made or Jackie and I made.
Then you need something. You need it to be able to, like, you need what's the number of numbers that each letter has? Because like, what's it like? I or B is 1 through 25 or whatever. I is like 26 through 50, and so on and so forth. So you actually need that number of jokes,
Right. We do
and
need
then some sort of algorithm that will just randomly generate cards.
right because he made like 25 different cards.
Yeah, where you need something that will just produce new cards every fucking viewer or whatever, right?
Uh-huh. Well, what I was thinking of is making the cards in sets of 25 or something like that, and um, everybody's got to play a different card
Look, everybody on the show.
in the chat.
Oh, in the chat. Yeah, well,
Yeah, because whoever's on the screen, they're not playing because
yeah.
they can lead the
Well,
conversation.
I guess I'm gonna be on the show less. Want free shit. That's one of the jokes. Justin wants free shit, but he doesn't actually want it.
Mhm.
He's just like, okay, so here's how you deliver it to me.
Yeah,
Go
send
outside,
you
walk
I'll
down to
send
the
you a copy
dumpster, just put it in
of
there.
what he sent me, so you could think look at it and see if
Yeah.
there's other jokes that we're missing. Because he did a really good job. I don't see him much around, but he
Mhm.
did a really good job of hitting all the the tried and true things. Like food talk and some of the obvious stuff, but some of the really like intimate knowledge of the show
Well,
jokes.
I think he watches. I don't know. I know I got a lot more people showing up in my show than are ever in the chat. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Right, and that could be the thing is he watches after the fact because you know
no, I mean like the second the show is done, there's at least 11 people that have watched, and we've only seen like 2 in the chat. So,
right. With this show and the other show, over the course of a week, there will be like 20 or 30 more people watching it, even though it's over.
yeah.
That just blows me away. It's like I love my friends out there that do the same thing, but if I don't catch it live, I'm not watching it unless it's got something in the title that makes me want to watch it, or it says it's like an hour, then maybe. But if it's like a 3.5 hour show from whoever, I'm probably not
And
going to watch
that's
it.
kind of why I'm trying to cut the show down to a hard 2 hours on
Yes, I
mine.
appreciate that, especially when Jackie goes back to school, because between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, when he's gone, I'll either be on your show recording a short video or writing. It's the only time I'm going to get to do that, and I might as well, get on a really tight, not tight schedule, but a regular schedule of I'm going to write now, or maybe after dinner on Mondays or Wednesdays. Otherwise, every night of the week is full. After
Hmm.
dinner, I'm doing something in front of a screen or a camera, and there's just no way. Or like tonight, if we finish the show at like 8, okay, I'll have from 8 to 10 that I could maybe
Yeah,
write.
that's the next hour.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's when
And
we started.
we start at 5. We usually go 3 hours here.
Yeah, well, it's 8 for me
Right.
when we start
And
on.
I am actually painting, believe it or not, especially if you see me put
Uh,
these dopey things on. If I put these on, then absolutely I'm painting because, uh,
so tell me where I'm.
yeah, it's the only reason I would put those dumb things on. But
Hmm.
it was funny. When I was looking at miniatures last night, I'm like, is there like a new genre that's coming out that I don't know about? You know, because I've got like almost everything covered. Fantasy, I'm covered for days. Science
Hmm.
fiction, kind of covered. Western, oh yeah, hell of covered. Is there something I'm missing? Horror, maybe, but
Horror.
I mean,
Yeah.
with horror you got to pick like, body horror, Cthulhu, uh, movie monster, famous movies. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that Kingdom Death monster crap. That's just a.
I like some of the like that's mostly body horror with some like sexual Cthulhu-y stuff going on as well.
Mhm.
Um, but the models are just too spindly and they're too anime inspired.
And too expensive. Let's be
And
honest.
well, you can get them fairly cheap off of
Right, I've seen that.
AliExpress.
Yeah, I've seen
Um,
that, but uh, I there are some minis I'm looking at that are from China,
yeah,
but you know, I hate the wait time. 2 to 3 weeks to get here.
yeah.
Um, it,
Before modern shipping, that's
I
what
know
you would have been waiting anyway.
6 to 8 weeks. I know. But when it comes to something like that, it's like I want to hurry up and get it and paint it before the mood just like fades. Like, oh, I want to paint this like really bad. Oh, and then it gets here and I'm like, okay, I'll put it in the pile. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I had my desk set up and I was like properly painting and I was buying stuff off there, I just buy random shit, like cheap shit, keep it
Uh,
under $5, $10
yep.
most uh, per model, and then when it showed up, it was like a little present.
Yeah. That's sometimes that's the way it is. And speaking of
Yeah.
which, TCG
Yeah,
crafting, you there?
yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what's up with Pipped,
What do you mean?
the eBay store that I turned you on to?
Oh, I bought a bunch of stuff from them
When?
a couple months ago, actually.
Well, I went looking at their shop today, and it's empty.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I was like totally bummed because there were some things I was looking for. Because I started by going to the Reaper catalog and just writing down all the minis that I was like interested in, and then I figured I'd go look for them on eBay because I'm not going to buy from Reaper when I could buy elsewhere for 50% off any day of the week. And first place I went was Pipped, and nothing, nobody home.
Oh, that's weird.
And the next cheapest company is a company called Battlegrounds, but you got to spend like $65 to get free shipping. And I'm like,
That's
yeah,
not bad though. Like
it's
if
not
you're
bad.
buying,
It's not bad, but the other company is like 45 or $55,
hmm
and I can knock that out by buying a box set of 10 minis, and that's $25, and a couple other single things, and I'm done. And not only am I getting a great deal, but when you buy those Reaper sets of like 5 or 10 minis in the big hard plastic case,
hmm
you get the hard plastic case that alone would cost you like $20 in shipping. Then you throw in the price of the value of the case. And when I do that, I usually pay $25 for one of those cases, whether it's paints or minis. And I paid $25 through Pipped, and the minis inside were $25. The cases were 10 or more, and then the shipping is, 15 to 20 if I did just that order. And then I end up, I'll spend the $50 and end up walking away with about $100 worth of merchandise.
Yeah.
That's how I like to do things, and they were just completely empty. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll come back later. I don't have the money to go shopping right now, anyways. It's the end or beginning of the month, depending on how you look at it. But later down the road, it would be nice to go back to them, because I even told them, it's like, hey, with these prices, I'll try to make a purchase, every month, and then show them off on the show, and that's how Crafting heard about them. And then they might be on vacation or something, but
That could happen. They could shut
usually,
things down.
usually when people do that, it'll just say on the top of every page, they're on vacation. Your stuff won't be available till this point. But there's like nothing in the store. It's just like, why is it even there? You can't look at anything. You can't do anything. You can't contact. Well, maybe you can contact them. Should probably try that and see what's up. But
Yeah. Fuck. Oh, maybe that's what it was.
But yeah, I need to this week go into my garage and look for stuff. Although, you know what, I might just pull out all my Reaper pirate miniatures, get me more in the mood for our Sunday game, and just pull out all the different pirates, because I've probably got about 25 or 30 good pirate miniatures now, and
Yeah.
not just paint them, but put them in a dedicated case that I can go, okay, pirates, here we go. As a matter of fact, the Archon Studios Kickstarter that I just picked up last couple months
Sorry,
ago.
I just found an Ina sort of Twilight for less than $20.
A what?
It's a Mordheim miniature.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on a second, guys.
Everyone else wants like 60 for it.
Show it, and I'll bring.
I can't. You're breaking up, bro. So how you doing, TCG?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. You've been kind of quiet, so.
Yeah, kind of painting, and
Hey.
Shadow certainly talks a lot.
Yeah, well, that's why I like having them around. You can keep the conversation going.
Yeah,
He's got the radio voice. But you got to get in there. If you got things to talk about, Shadow will shut up and let you speak.
yeah. Some days I seem to be worse about actually speaking out than others.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm that way too. No, but what miniatures are you working on? What?
Some pirates from Iron Wind, and I also have some Zulu warriors that I'm gonna be painting up next.
Zulu warriors?
Yeah.
You doing historicals or just?
It's actually for my game. Like most of the miniatures I've bought recently are so I can run my game with miniatures.
Yeah, but you're gonna use them as like savages or whatever. Yeah.
Because
Zulus are pretty good.
I forgot the green sun. Beneath them, they're just hunter gatherers.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I have a bunch of Zulus here, but they're not in the scale you'd like. They're what's the next step down? They're for an historical game, an old one.
I think it goes from 28 to 15 millimeter. Not 100% sure about that.
There's a bunch in between.
Okay, yeah, I
that
don't know.
historicals use. But yeah, sci-fi and fantasy wargamings usually go 28 down to 15, then 10, then 12, then 10, then 6, then 2.
Yeah.
But 12 and 10 are usually, you know, it's how heavy-handed the sculptor was that day. Oh.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, in the case of most miniature companies, they don't have to be exact. So
Yeah. But the scale is measurable, so
yeah,
that's the thing with a lot of like you can mix ranges and be close enough. It's just that guy's shorter than that guy or that guy's taller than that guy, right? As long as it's not overly obvious.
oh, it's overly obvious with my Zulus versus the pirates I'm painting. The Zulus
Yeah.
literally look like the red-haired giants that were eating the Native Americans. Type size difference.
Okay. Well, then just write that into the lore, or just don't worry about it. They
Yeah.
are only representations of things so people can visualize.
Exactly.
Oh. I should get back onto the screen. Where the fuck did Shadow go? Hello, Janet. From another planet. We seem to have lost Shadow in the ether, and have no idea what to talk about because we were just kind of listening to him go on about something I don't even remember what. Losing contact with an eBay seller or something.
Yeah. Talking about how Pipped is kind of disappeared.
Yeah. Are you alive, Shadow? Just message him on Discord.
Oh Shadow, where art thou, oh Shadow?
Yeah. He probably got shot by a SWAT grenade raiding his house for meth or something. You're on the internet being a conspiracy theorist. You're being arrested for possessing meth. Take your COVID vaccine. Yeah, because Shadow's like one of those guys. It's like they're coming for you, they're going to force it into you. Well, it used to be that way. It used to be pretty bad with that. Guy's my best butt on the internet next to everyone else, literally. But like the list is like all the way down here, and Shadow's like right there. Just because I have to talk to him so much. But yeah, I don't know. His power probably went out. He forgot to charge his phone again. He probably dropped it trying to light a cigarette. He's like, "Hey, wait, I need my lighter." And his phone just fell. Oh.
Shadow should know by now. If you smell gas, don't light a lighter.
Yes. He's only blown himself up like 8 times. Oh.
Boom!
But
no more Chinese laundry.
No more Chinese laundry. Oh. Yeah. What the fuck's that from?
Atlantis. Back when Disney actually made good movies.
Oh yeah, the first one or the second
Yes.
one? I gotta watch that again. Oh, I saw that in theaters. We went to go see Scooby Doo. Right, we saw Scooby Doo, and then that was starting just as Scooby Doo ended, so we snuck into it.
Nice.
Yeah. So they had a 2-for-1 special that day. Uh, uh, and you know the good thing is as a theater member, I had the extra large pop with the free refills, so I was just popping out every half hour or so for another rupee or no ice. I was like, haven't you been here for like 4 hours? Shut up, man. My movie hasn't started yet. 'Cause it used to do that too, right? Was like go to the Harvey's, which is a burger joint. I don't know, you got those. Get the flame broiled baconator or whatever it was called. And then go over to the theater and sit on their patio and get the pop there because it was the free refills. So I'd sit there and have my lunch with my bros. We'd be there for like, oh, the movie's starting at 8 o'clock. Let's all meet around 6:30. Hang out. They had chess boards at the theater, so we played chess
Nice.
for like an hour and a half while eating. I would drink like maybe 4 liters of fountain pop before the movie would start. I used to drink a lot of pop, bros.
Me too.
Here.
How much of
Sorry,
that did you
guys.
hear?
Sorry, I got a phone call, and I'm gonna get another one. God only knows when.
The bros from Arderwin?
No. Jackie's mom. We're getting new phones, and so they had to take the old phones in and transfer all the data, but they don't know what the passwords on any of them are for anything because it's been like 5 years and nobody keeps track of that shit except me on my accounts.
Yeah. Yeah, you should probably do that yourself.
I try to keep track of my passwords, but at this point, I have so many passwords for so many different things. I end up losing
I've got
complete
two
track.
for
You should
dozens
have
of.
more than that, but I have them written down in a little notebook.
Yeah, most people do, but doesn't do any good if you don't bring the notebook with you, does it?
Yeah.
Or if you try to do the thing without the man of the house on a day that's not the day he agreed to do it on. I said I'll do it Saturday, but they can't wait.
Yeah.
And mind you, I was just complaining, how shitty my phone was today, because like you click the button to activate, so everything lights up, and then about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes later, I can actually do something when the screen will finally stop just being a white blank screen. Um,
Mhm. Oh.
but I don't use my phone for like everything. I use it for making calls, and that's it. And even then,
Yeah,
I don't make
making
that many
calls.
calls. I have other things for other things. But anyways, hi Janet. Thanks for showing up. I don't know if you saw our show Monday. I hope you did, and if you liked it, you're uh, one of the few. No, I'm kidding. It was a lot of fun. Raven was there, Bear was there, Jackie was there, I was there. We tried to get you and Bruce, but I know it's a bad night for you guys. But
Hmm.
it was fun. Jackie, wanted to talk about that stuff, and
I don't know. Did you want to see this?
Coming
let me
from
let
you,
me take a
Justin?
look.
Probably not.
No. Wrong screen. On screen. Sorry, bro.
Okay.
You want the actual. You don't want the listing page. You want the actual item page. You were talking about this before we got cut
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, no. I haven't seen. I haven't seen them. It's like it's probably like $12 American or whatever. But I haven't seen like all the other ones are like 50, $60.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
More time.
I've got this one Eldar general that I picked up way back in the day, and back then it was I picked it up for like $10 or $15, and it was like, okay, cool. It was painted. I had to strip it. Did so. Got it down to bare metal and everything. And then I went and looked, and I found it, and the cheapest one I could find was $50,
Yeah.
and now I bet easily 75, 100.
Without even stripping it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm tempted to buy that, but I have no use for it whatsoever. So I'm doing my best to resist.
Yeah.
So if you want to snap that up at the value price,
Yeah, send me a link. I'll look at it closer. But it looks like half a dozen other minis I have.
yeah, you probably
It,
already have that one.
for me, I like for example with Shadows of Brimstone, it comes with a bunch of character models, but we went out and bought Reaper metal minis because they're the main character. It's a board game, and we never used the ones that came with the box. But some things, it's like if I were to try to buy those for the board game, they'd be like 3 or 4 times the price of the metal ones, and the board game ones are plastic.
Yeah,
It's
for
that
Shadows of Brimstone.
yeah, it's that it's that this is exactly what the item is, and the guy's looking for that exact item. Like if you ever look at like trading cards, you
Yeah,
know, from old sets, like this specific card, it means nothing, but if you want to buy it, it's $7.99 for an old Star Wars card or a Wonder Bread sticker. Just because this is the exact thing that goes in that place, and so many things in this hobby or collecting are literally just freaking placeholders. You're buying it to fill that spot
yeah.
and say you've got it all. Um,
But I'll tell you what, I'm looking at that same miniature still in the blister pack right now, right? Um, and it's 89.78 plus 15.18 shipping.
I'll
So
be right back.
$100
Someone just
bucks.
asked me to come check on something.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I'm telling you, it's those placeholder collectors, and
yeah.
and that I
And
don't know what
Mordheim is like one of those games that the people that love Mordheim love fucking Mordheim.
same with Necromunda, the original version,
Yeah.
which I do love, but I've got like almost everything they ever made, and those few empty spots, I could fill with something else. If I
Oh,
if I played one of those games, like if you played Mordheim, and you pulled out a bunch of, Reaper miniature
Inquisitor.
skeletons, nobody's going to give a shit. There's nobody grading you or gatekeeping you when you're doing that crap, and
What I wouldn't mind is I had a few of them. Matter of fact, I just found one of the ones I had, but I lost pieces for. Was the Inquisitor models? Remember the 60 millimeter?
oh, dude,
Yeah,
that would be something I could get into just because I've been looking at 60 mil and
I love the scale. I love the scale. It's so much more fun to paint. Um,
hmm
oh fuck! They want $60 for the two, and I just found both of the ones I used to have because I only ever had two of them.
I remember when I was seeing that at my shop, Brookhurst Hobbies,
Yeah,
uh, and I was like, "These are awesome!" Oh, and I didn't even realize it was for a game until years later. I'm like, "Oh man, I could have picked them up for like $19 or whatever it was to
yeah.
go and raid at the time." And now that I'm very into, painting the larger things, especially even with 28 mil. Oh, it's a big giant monster. Okay, I'm going to paint that first. You know, the little
Yeah.
dudes, the little elves and skeletons and crap. I probably got plenty already painted, and just pull those out.
Yeah.
But for painting for pure enjoyment, that it's never gonna, go into a game box or on a gaming table.
hmm
There's
I
something
know.
about the larger scales that make you feel like a better painter.
Well,
'Cause
there.
when you make a mistake on a little mini, you got a lot of work to fix it.
Yeah.
But with a big model, it doesn't seem like you're making as many mistakes. And if
Well,
you
it's a
do,
lot harder to make them unless you're being a total klutz.
Mhm.
Um, the like if I were to create if we got this game we're working on down pat and we decide to make like a miniatures version of it, like a skirmish game,
Mhm.
yeah, I'd make it miniatures agnostic and recommend people um buy the 3035 or
You,
47.
you know what I would
What
do
is
actually? You know what I would do? I was thinking about it. Funny you
because
mentioned that.
you know dragon models and like the people that make tanks and stuff like that,
Hmm.
they all do police sets and fucking like pedestrian sets at the larger, right, like so you got your wargaming miniatures like this big, and then the tank crew people are like this big,
Hmm.
right? They do like SWAT teams and shit like that.
I was thinking because I went. I forget where I was, but I was looking at, like your toy cars. You know,
Like Hot Wheels, so much smaller, so 6 mil or
no, no,
12
no,
mil,
no, no, the bigger ones.
the bigger
Oh,
ones.
yeah, for kids. But they're like, kind of fancy. One car comes in a box. Sometimes they're like collector display things like Franklin Mint or whatever. But some of the larger scales to where you could,
hmm
just buy a bunch of that crap.
Well, I was thinking that because thinking what I was thinking because well, I've got a bunch of those stuff already,
Mhm.
so I could do them up and do photos and shit like that. But they usually come in a box of like four to six 4 to 6 police officers. Usually, like the ones I got are all like SWAT teams and shit like that, right?
Mhm.
But uh, and they're usually like $20 to $30, sometimes a little more, but not much.
I'll have to look into that because
Yeah,
I like the idea of a bigger scale.
yeah.
Mind you, in a lot of cases, for me,
Obviously, if it's miniatures agnostic, you can like throw that out the window and just do whatever the fuck scale
mhm.
you want, right?
The
But
only problem I was thinking would be actual terrain. Because I could picture, going to a convention and there's this like, city street, downtown LA or something, with a couple of different intersections and these big old tall buildings, like 2 and 3 foot tall buildings. Um, and then you've got
yeah,
your SWAT van and a hostage situation or, things like that. I could see that being like a lot of fun visually, trying to figure out, how to do all
well,
the things or even interiors would be fun, but they'd be.
once again, if it's a game built around 2 to 4 characters,
Mhm.
well, if you're playing like a skirmish game, it'd be 2 to 4 people on one side and like maybe 4 to 6 on the other, but much weaker because they have
Mhm.
no training or whatever.
Right, like the hostage negotiation at a bank or
hmm
things like that. That could be kind of fun,
Yeah.
but the interiors would be a pain in the ass because then you're talking, uh, like dollhouse quality or better for
No,
everything.
that's still bigger. That's much bigger.
But you know what I
Dollhouse
mean
is
with
one
the
quarter
details.
or one
The
tenth. Sorry,
average interior of
one
any
twelfth.
building would take you 6 months to make that building. With a
Hmm.
removable roof and doors and rooms and all that crap. And
Well,
typewriters and
Yes,
whatever.
but once again, you're talking about, because it's not a war game, it's a much tighter space. So you're not needing to make such a large variety of environments per table, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, like for example,
You might only need to put like one wall across the building, and that represents the entire building facing.
right? I was thinking like your typical bank robbery. You
Yeah.
know, you've got if I go into my regular bank, there's the main lobby, a couple little cubicles behind the counter, and God only knows what's behind the counter, kind of thing. If there's
Yeah.
the vault and things like that, um, it could be pretty involved to build that and you know have it look good inside and out.
Yeah, well, that's left up to, as a miniatures agnostic game. That's left up to the player to figure out how they're doing that.
No, I meant the scenery. I was just
Yeah.
specifically talking terrain. That would be a challenge. You
Yeah.
know, one that I don't think I could. I especially
Yeah.
when you're talking about windows and glass doors and things like that. It's like shit. If you had Adam Savage's workshop, it would still take you
I
weeks.
don't know. You'd be surprised that that stuff can be pumped out pretty quickly and pretty
Sure, if you
easily.
got a bunch of guys off camera doing all the work, yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of
Well.
architects. Oh, you know what? You'd want to hire the guys that make the mock-up buildings. Architects that make the architect models, and it's just like I want to buy all your architect models that you've ever done. Uh, you know what I mean?
Most of those are not good for, because I've known a few architects, and they're just like fucking paper and cardboard stock, and
Really?
not
Yeah,
even
I can
like
see that.
not even rigid. They do make some good ones out there. There are firms that make like display pieces, but still they're not meant to be manhandled.
Bummer.
But yeah.
But you know what I mean? You'd have to,
Yeah,
seriously.
you would want that level of cool, which can be achieved. There are ways to do it. But like I said, go more abstract with shaping and things like that, where like you don't need
You'd
the full
almost want to go at
building.
it like a railroad modeler kind of thing. You're
Yeah.
going to build this small town, and it's going to take up like 4 sheets of plywood. You know what I mean? Right?
No, you're talking too big. Skirmish is small.
Well, no, so that you have variety of terrain each game.
Yes, but you can do what's called set dressing. Right?
Mhm.
Like, so if you have like a wall that's cutting your table in half, because you don't need the full building, you
Mhm.
just need the wall. On one side it's a brick wall. Obviously that's the side the street's on. The other side is the interior space. Well, now you've got whatever you put in that space to represent. Yeah. And then your characters just never go into enough of the room to need the other walls.
Because that's where the cameramen are standing.
Yes, exactly. Like on a set in a movie. They've only got the walls you can see on camera.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
Except for oddly in that new Ghostbusters movie, they built that entire house.
I'm thinking that it would be more likely to just pull out the dry erase board, mat, and your colored dry erase markers. Go. All right, this is the game for today.
Gay.
Oh, okay.
Gay.
I know. $30 and you're done. Trust me. We played
Uh, a
tens
lot
of
of games like
thousands,
that way. It's
tens
always been like,
tens of thousands of games on boards like that
yeah,
over the years. It's like nobody ever, thought, because when we were playing in the game halls, there was no terrain ever.
yeah,
It was just you got your dry erase markers, you got the big because they were built onto the table. They were like taped or whatever. The
yeah.
grids, the clear plastic, the squirt bottle, a dry eraser, some paper towels, and here's your markers. Return them at the end of the night. And like those big pens. You remember those big pens that had the 4 colors?
Yeah.
Do you remember the commercial for those pens?
Briefly, it's like they were like, "Look at this! It's different colors."
No. What they
It's
did
like
is
a
they
rocket
actually
ship or something like that.
no, they actually animated stories using just those 4 colors. You know what I mean? To
I
show
think I
all,
remember that.
and, and they literally look like they were drawn in ballpoint pen. And the 4 color blue big pen with black, red, blue,
And
and
green.
green.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I would do all kinds of crap with just that. And then I found out that there were bigger, and there was like one pen that had like 16 or 32 different ballpoint pens in
Yeah,
it.
yeah, but it was not made by Bic. It was like a knockoff company that had like
Right.
purple and
And
pink
Bic
and
also had another
yellow.
one. They had another one that was it was all pink, and it had like purple and a different green and pink, and I forget the other color, but it had 4 other colors. I'm like, oh, double the power,
Yeah, Shadow does this. Bingo card. There's one for calling Shadow gay. Like there's an entire card just for different calling Shadow gay jokes.
Yeah, I'll have to send you the bingo cards. There's some good ones in there. Some
No,
stuff
no,
that-
no. You better call him back and say I need at least 5 cards that are just calling me gay in different orders.
I don't want to be handing out like stuff to everybody. There's only so many prizes I can hand out. It's like, oh, bingo, 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 bingo. Shit, within the first 5 jokes, their card's full. And in any line you can pick.
Shadow sucks cock. Shadow directs people sucking cock.
No.
Shadow knows a lot about sucking cock. These are 3 different jokes here, okay? You gotta get the right flavor. Shadow's embarrassed about a dick joke.
No.
Shadow squints his eyes because of a dick joke. That's a square on its own. You just did that, bro.
Can you blame me? My head hurts. It's like
Shadow face palms because of a dick joke. No. There's one that's like Shadow face palms because of a dick joke. Shadow face palms because of a. It's got to be like specific. There's just the Shadow face palms card. There's just different things that you're face palming over.
yeah.
Oh.
Why do I have you on the show again?
I call everybody. I tell everybody you're gay, bro. Like it's the only reason why I'm there. It's literally the only reason. Also, I warned you not to have that guy on the show that one time, and it led to all this.
You did.
This did not happen before you ignored my warning.
I know.
This is like writing advice 101, cause and effect and consequence, right? The consequence to you not taking my advice is I call you gay for the rest of eternity.
And it's funny. Whoever those people were, if they had ever come back, they would have went, "Oh, I'm never leaving." You know what I mean? They'd be in the chat forever. But apparently, it was a bunch of different people who were just like, "Hey, go fuck with this guy." Hey,
yeah,
and
they didn't realize that I'm now fucking you. I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Yeah, because
fucking with you on their behalf.
Yeah, right. Sure. Sounds like a Freudian slip. Now I understand it all.
He finally has a comeback. That's the free space, by the way. You don't get a free space. You get to put something there if Shadow actually has a comeback. Yeah. So that middle line is almost impossible to get.
It should be the I have my moments square. Because that's usually what I say. I have my moments.
Yeah. Oh.
So what happened to TCG? Did he have a phone call?
He had to go help somebody do
Gotcha.
something.
Yeah,
he had a phone call as well.
Dinner
he
had
was
just
there.
arrived, and I was asked to help unload it.
What did you get?
Your chair? You finally get your chair?
Dinner.
Oh no, I got that the day
dinner.
of. My mother was nice enough to do that. I live on my mother's property. Multiple generations on one property helped money, given how expensive rent can be.
So what's on the menu tonight, bro?
uh, chicken strips, sweet and sour chicken, not sweet, orange chicken, and for my primary dish, she brought home some really nice sandwiches. She works at the gas station, so it's just gas station dinner tonight because she was supposed to cook dinner, but someone asked her into
Gas station
work in their
orange
place.
chicken.
It's not gas station orange chicken. It's a gas station, but it's a mini grocery store in the same hand. So it's just the Tyson chicken.
Because I love orange chicken so much, I wouldn't be able to resist. If I went into my local gas station and they had orange chicken cooking there, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take 3. Oh,
yeah, I just
wait.
looked at the clock. Fuck, man. The mall is closed now. I can't go down there and get some orange chicken. Fucking.
Yeah, I made 3 pizzas today, so.
Well, I'll admit there is one person working on the staff that you don't want cooking your food. She's usually the burn it or undercook it. That's apparently her reputation. But the rest of the staff there is just fine when it comes to cooking food, and especially with my mother, she keeps the food rotated a lot.
Cool.
You have to put orange chicken on the grocery list for this weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to run.
I seriously, if it were possible somehow, I could literally eat orange chicken all fucking day. Like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Just
yeah, I could do that with orange chicken. I could actually also do that with the Walmart sweet and sour honey barbecue chicken. Not sweet and sour.
I was gonna say I haven't seen sweet and sour chicken in forever. The pink
sorry,
sauce, onions.
Neither
and
have I, to be
pineapple.
perfectly honest. So I don't know why I got sweet and sour on the brain, but it's just stuck there right now.
Yeah.
No, it used to be like every Chinese restaurant you went to or buffet, they had it. They didn't even have the orange chicken, and then there came this point where they're like, we're just gonna do the orange chicken. It's easier.
We get that. It's more of a yellowy color than orange at our place, but it's usually on the tray at the same time.
It's like when I was a kid.
The 3-item special.
And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like gone are the buffet restaurants. You'll never see them come back. Never.
They will, but
Golden Corral's still around.
There's still a few of them. I think they California actually put in a law against them.
Really?
Yeah, you'd have to look that up, but I think California was having some obesity problem, and it was one of those things they put in.
Yeah, there was definitely that. Oh my God. We used to have this place called Hometown Buffet, and we would go, probably twice a month, just because everybody could get whatever the hell they wanted, and it was more of a sit-down experience. Now, if we go anywhere, it's like Jackie and I are done and ready to leave in 15 minutes after having waited an hour for our food. But with the buffets, you'd sit down and talk and go back and forth. Oh, have you tried this? Go try that sort of thing. Then the dessert table
Yeah. I actually have a story that will make Justin disappointed in me. A buffet story.
What? Just tell the story, man. Stop prefixing everything.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I went to a friend of mine took me to Golden Corral. When I got my plate, I got 2 plates of food. Took them to where I ate, and when she said, "Oh, are you going to get more?" It's like, no, I brought everything on my plate because there is no way I'm fighting that crowd for God knows what.
Yeah, I don't know.
She decided to take us there during the middle of Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. If you're going out for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm going to take my 2 plates and call it good.
For us, it was always rib night. The night they would actually have ribs, that it was just like packed. Just
the place we used to go before my dad died. We would go maybe once a week, every other week. We hit one of the fast food places and then go see a movie, or the other way around, see a movie then hit the buffet. And it was usually the Chinese buffets because they're more common here. But always the ribs. The one we would go to a lot was right next to the theater before it closed down, and you would have to make sure you were picking it up by the meat, because if you picked it up by the bone, you were just getting the bone, because it would fall off the rib.
Yeah, cat and dog will do that.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah,
Maybe.
because the reason why this place got shut down is because they were caught serving. They had a back room. They had a back room where they'd serve exotic animals, and they got caught doing that. So probably can't
Exotic
dog.
animals, exotic tastes. You know.
Yeah, but no. If you slow cook ribs properly in
Yep.
sauce,
Yep.
they will, especially if you remember to remove the silver skin. Um, which my mom never did for years. And it's like, call me before you're making the ribs. I'll come down and do it for you.
Do what?
Remove the silver skin. You know the back of the ribs have a membrane on them that you're supposed to peel off.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, she still makes them like that too. Whenever we go up, and she's making ribs. You got to remove the silver skin. Shout out to has no idea. Shout out next time you make ribs, remove the silver skin.
No, I just never heard it referred to as that.
Yeah, it's. What do you think? What do you call it?
I don't know what I never heard of what it was called, but I learned a long time ago. You know the where you can see the bone. There's that thin. Like,
Membrane. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And it's tough, so you can just peel it off if you get a good grip on it.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to hit it with a knife, but not often. Um, yeah. You want to remove that, and then slow cook, and they will shred. The meat will just fall apart.
Yeah, when you can pull the bone out and it's clean.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
it's absolutely clean. It doesn't even leave the sauce there, right? It's just,
mhm.
um,
And then my dog gets bones for the next week and a half.
pork bones are not good to give your dogs, bro. They splinter, and then they get
Yeah, I always heard that was the way with chicken and turkey.
chicken as well, poultry, but
He never
pork,
gets the
pork.
chicken bones, but pork bones. It's funny when we first got Chewy, he was about this big, right? And it was
Yeah,
a tiny little puppy, and I gave him a rib bone, and I thought he would just chew on it and do the doggy thing. He swallowed the fucking thing whole, and I mean the dog was only this big.
yeah.
He swallowed it whole. I'm like, where'd the bone go? He just looked at me like, it's in me, And then he threw it up, the whole bowl. I'm just like, see, you're not supposed to do that. I don't. I can't even. That would be like us, like basically swallowing, a small baseball bat. You know what I mean?
People do it.
I or worse. But I just like how do you do that? You're not even shaped that way. There's a straight line. But so we had to wait till he got a little bit bigger, and then we do that. Um, but he's been doing it for 13 years, never had a problem. I know with
Well,
chicken bones, it's way different. We never even took a chance. But there's
if
so
you,
many freaking things dogs can't eat. It's
yeah, if he's
amazing.
not having a problem with it, he's been around long enough that
Yeah, and we
if
don't
he
usually do beef ribs for whatever reason. We can't find them very often, and two,
same here.
I've never cooked them, so I don't know. But over decades of cooking, baby backs, it's
Hmm.
I could literally still do it if I was blind. Uh, I might get the sauce bottle wrong, but
Whatever.
yeah. Do you use honey when you barbecue?
Sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah.
Uh, I prefer to slow cook those though. I put them in the slow cooker.
Hmm.
I got a fairly long one, and I just either half the ribs or wrap them, and then
And bacon?
put. No, I'm not. I'm sadly not as expert at cooking as our good friend Beelzebub. Bubba. But I really got to do that sometime. Just like take the whole fucking pack of bacon and slap it down and wrap the ribs around it. But no, usually we do like onion and some green pepper or red pepper, and then sauce, some brown sugar, and then a little bit of water because you gotta get it in there, and it will condense when you're slow cooking. And just put it on the counter for like 4 hours. Then when you come back, all that sauce is a brown goop at the bottom, and the onion and pepper is so soft, it's a mush. It's like baby food, and then
You just pull out all the bones and just grab a spoon.
yeah, well, and then you just kind of try and get the ribs evenly proportioned per each person that night, and then
What are you, a commie? Biggest gets the biggest scoop.
I'm not an asshole. And besides, any leftovers go to me.
Oh yeah, it bums me out because
you get two, you get two, you get two, you get two, I get two, and there's like 6 more left. But shut up.
6.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just fucking making those numbers up, bro.
Our local Sam's, prior to this last 4-year thing, you could get 3 racks of baby back ribs for about $25.
Yeah.
Now it's 2 for like 30 to 40. And whenever
I
we
think
do
they're still between 12 and 17 here, but
and whenever we do it, we're
Canadian
usually having
prices.
company, which means like 5 people. So we're needing like 6 to 8 racks.
so
And no matter who shows up, there's always like 1 or 2 racks left over. And that's all I'm going to be eating is baby back ribs and potato skins for the next week.
you slow cook the baby back ribs so they fall off the bone. You have a rib
Yes.
sandwich. You put some pieces of bread in the toaster, get it nice and crispy. Put some cheese on there, some real cheese,
Ooh, that does sound good. I've never done that. That
and
sounds good.
then you throw some rib and then some more cheese.
Because I've done the like hoagie rolls or Subway rolls,
Yeah.
and just take a couple of ribs and just onto
That-
the bun. Extra
yeah.
sauce.
You want that cheese so it's like melting because of the heat of the rib meat and the toast, so it's extra gooey. And you cut it in half and you serve it up nice. You cut on an angle and you stack them like this on the plate with a little sauce in between, just like I do with grilled cheese. You can treat it like a grilled cheese, but with fucking rib meat between the Gouda.
Yeah, I need to take Jackie for a Philly cheesesteak because he's never had one, and there's a place. That we
I don't.
go-
I don't think I'm allowed to speak to him until that's rectified.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that this weekend. He's like, "What's that, Dad? We've never had one of those before." I'm like, "Oh, Philly cheesesteak? What? You've never had that?"
It's a steak pounded flat, then diced into crap, then mixed with cheese slices, served with grilled onion and pepper.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I think that's going to hold him up is he's not a fan of onion or pepper.
Shut up.
You know, right?
No, you'll eat it and you'll like it.
Yeah, I made some chicken salad the other day, and it had onion in it, and like, here, try this. It's like, okay, and it's like, see, not bad. It's like, what you think of the onions? I didn't really taste them. Like, see, shut up. Onions are good.
Onions are really good if you caramelize them and then you put them between the cheese on a grilled cheese. Grilled cheese.
Onions are fine until you light a match and everything detonates around you.
What?
I've never had that.
I've never had that problem either.
I'm allergic to onions. That literally
Oh,
gives me really
it-
bad gas.
Yeah,
I'm kind of the same way with green peppers, but
use the red ones.
that's what I did for my pizza today, or one
Yeah.
and a half of the 3 pizzas I made today.
1.5. I'm gonna.
Jackie's really simple when it comes to pizza. Just throw meat on it. I'm good.
I'm gonna
me, I
order a
want-
pizza.
Like
I had one yesterday, but I'm gonna order another one.
I made what I did was I made two pizzas, and then I took a loaf of French bread that was sliced and turned it into little mini pizzas, so that there's like
Okay.
quick lunch during the rest of the week, or if I want a snack or something, just grab a couple of those, and there's his lunch. And if they manage to survive into next week, he'll be taking them for school lunch, just in case there is no school lunch. It sucks so bad for him, man. His last week, he thought he was just gonna, okay, I'm just gonna soak it all in. Last week of vacation, then he gets an email from a CO for JROTC. Nope, I need you boys here every day, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 p.m. Like he's gonna
What?
put in more JROTC time in 1 week than he will in 6 months. Because it's usually like an hour, once a week, an hour a day. They do stuff, you know. But I guess when you,
Do you know why he wants them there? Like, is it
no,
making sure you're not out on the streets being bad kids?
no, he's a good guy. He's been there all the years, and
I wouldn't be surprised if it was something like that, though. I'm just saying.
they do a lot of volunteer work, and this year he's going to be doing a lot more volunteer work and after school programs.
Oh,
Uh,
you're calling me communist for fucking evenly distributing the ribs across the family, but
well, he wants he
but
wants to do a
volunteer
career.
work isn't communism there, huh?
No, that's a Christian thing to do, dude.
No,
Helping. Uh,
When it's instilled upon you, it's not Christian. It's communism.
well, no, they ask for volunteers, and
Yeah.
he will be doing it because in order to go up, not just in the ranks, to what comes after captain, major. If he wants to get major and then colonel, he's going to have to do some things to, above and beyond what he's been doing. And if he wants to get any of the scholarships, he has to do even more stuff. Because with last year's award ceremony, uh, all of the awards went to a particular female. Uh, she was just getting every single one, and we saw what she had to do to get there. So it's like, well, it's what you're going to have to do, I guess, if you want to, go that route. I mean, sure, he could just, enlist and then go to college later, but, uh, you know,
Yeah. Uh, I recommend not doing that.
Mhm.
Enlisting.
yeah, well, depends on what happens in the next 2 years with his side projects and his videos and things like that, and some of the other things that he's doing. If he finds an alternate, to either of those two things, I'm okay with that. But going to any college is, one, not going to happen because it won't be just any college, and two, there's no money in my budget for that. Um, if he wants to go, he's going to have to. I paid my way through college all on my own.
Yeah, but
I know it was
like
different, and things are a lot different and a lot more expensive, but
unnecessarily, and you're getting less for it these days.
right. But if he wants to go that route, he's going to have to put in a lot of the work. I'll probably, of course, help out, but I'm not just going to drop him into a $50,000-$60,000 a year school with the way things are. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. How much of a tip should I give the pizza guy?
I usually do 15-20%. Depends on what it is and where I'm at. If
But
it's
he's only
delivery,
a block away from me.
also depends on what he's bringing. If it's like a crap ton of stuff, you know,
A pizza and a dip.
and I would definitely open the pizza first and take a look at it. You know,
No, I know these guys. I've only ever had 2 fuck ups from them,
yeah.
and they gave me free pizzas for it.
Well, there you go. And excuse me, how do they get paid? Do they get paid only in tips, or do they?
No, we actually pay people here. In communist Canada, they're required to give them a salary just like everyone else.
Mhm. Well, they should. I mean,
Yeah.
tip
Well,
is,
not in your country.
well, it depends on where you're at, but yeah,
Yeah.
uh, it, it it's supposed to be a bonus, not
Yeah.
the paycheck. And because and then it started out with
Whoa, what's this communist liberal talk? In capitalist right wing America, right wingers believe in gig economy and not paying your workers and fucking yeah, no. That there is a large drive in that from the Republican Party to
well,
move
yeah, because
more
they're
things in.
bastards. There's a lot of
Yeah,
bastards with endless greed driving their every waking moment. But
yeah.
in the old days, it was you
The other
got
way
paid,
around.
you got paid, and you got a tip as a bonus to say, hey, you did
Yeah,
a good job. Then they decided, oh well, since they're getting tips, we could just pay them like half minimum wage because they're getting tips, which was bullshit. And then
yeah. That's why when you go to a restaurant here, the tip is required to be split between the entire staff besides the people that own the restaurant. Because they're like everyone is doing the thing. The actual
kind of
delivery people, the waiters and whatnot, they get like a slightly higher margin by law, but they don't get the whole thing. Um, must be nice. Dort.
that's fucked up.
Customers never tip. Um, they do and they don't. I've started limiting. I don't use DoorDash. I use Skip the Dish. Uh, when using one of those services. But I've had so many bad drivers that I've taken to only tipping after the delivery with them. Um, or if I do, it's like a buck in advance, and then you know I, I've had to chase down fucking drivers in another building complex because they're just in the wrong place. Or like there's a bunch of side streets over here that are dead end streets, and they keep trying to go over there to get to my building, and it's like you can look at my building from there through a chain link fence,
Hmm.
but you can't come down here. Uh, there is a staircase that you can go down like to the other end of the complex and then back again and then come down. But if you just followed the map the way they told you to come, you would be literally right in front of me right now. You know.
And Raven, if you want tips, sacrifice one of the cats in a youth ritual, and then dress like a teenager. You'll get all the tips.
Yeah. Well, just sacrifice the cats generally. we'll call it a wealth and prosperity savings plan because if you sacrifice them all, you won't have to be feeding them anymore, and your property budget will go up by 90% because you're not feeding cats. Do you think I'm off in the number of how much she spends out of her annual budget for cat food?
Oh, I'm certain they eat better than she does.
Yeah, 90% of everything she makes goes to cats, and it's not
That's
even the
generally how it
musical.
works.
I know you want to laugh, Shadow. That was
I
funny.
was as soon as you said that, my mind actually went to Team America and the musical that they did.
Yeah. Well, it's the only musical you've ever seen, so very funny. Nerdy, ha ha ha.
Just checking out all the things you sent to me during the show. Shit,
Yeah.
you're busy.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking up all this shit. You asked me to send you some things. I sent it to you. The that miniature is probably cheaper for you than me, obviously.
Mhm.
9.99 British pounds was 17 something Canadian. Uh, well, you could probably wrap things up. It's 11:06.
Yeah, I was checking to see if I had gotten that message about the phones, but I guess not. My guess is they couldn't figure it out, or maybe they figured it out. But yeah, it is that time. I will see you guys tomorrow over on Justin's channel at Reckless Rants at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Noon everywhere else. I'm assuming that's how time zones work.
And
Um,
Raven, you should show up one of these times. Just saying. And then I don't think I'll be reviewing anything tomorrow because I really need to get to writing, and then Fridays are usually busy with. I've got a game in the evening.
yeah, I only caught half of your review earlier. Something about a typo, and
Hmm.
I don't know. I was listening to something else that popped it on.
Yeah, it was the Red Room's Wretched Vigilantes. The whole Wretched system is I really like it. It's there's things about it that you know could use a little bit of improvement, but I definitely am trying to get into one of their games so I can get a better idea and better feel for it. But I like a lot of the things they do, and I'll keep reviewing their projects. Not all of them, but the ones that catch my eye. There's a couple more coming out over the next year or two. So, but it's definitely
Well, if you want, we could do a live play on like a Wednesday in the
maybe.
afternoon or
I
a
need to get an
Monday.
actual physical copy of the Wretched RPG because I skimmed through it pretty fast, and I'd want to have it on hand, and uh, it works better for me when I'm running a game if I've got the books. If I'm trying to use my laptop to go through PDFs and stuff,
Mhm.
yeah, it's not as comfortable to be able to look stuff up. But the free PDF for the basic game is there. You can check it out, see if it's something you like. There's all kinds of genres you can play with it, if not just about any,
Fuck.
except for one.
Send me a link to it later.
All right, I'll go over there and get it.
Yeah,
They're
because
I like them. They're we don't agree with each other on everything, but the really important things I think we do.
they're
Or
fucking liberal scum.
I wouldn't say that.
Shut up.
They're probably old school liberal, which I'm okay with, versus new school, lefties, which they don't seem to be big fans of. They're very, not not
You're
not
sounding like a liberal sleazebag to me right now.
they're not big fans of anything woke, and that's why they keep getting canceled and having difficulties. And when I see that, then I know, kind of judge them by the enemies they have, if you will.
Hmm.
And if they're the people I already don't like, then you know, a friend of my enemy type of thing. So, but they're also fun people.
Yeah,
And
yeah, but still,
uh,
I'm gonna call them
Mark,
lefty weirdos just for the fun of
yeah, oh yeah. Well, I mean, we hang out with Brian, and you don't get,
it. Brian is far left.
no, he's like old school, I think.
Shut
Also,
up! I'm having fun here.
all right. So everybody's a lefty except Justin, and
Yeah, don't you forget it.
welcome.
Except he's only just right of center.
Yes, yes, I am.
Well, there you have it, folks. Thanks for playing along tonight. I would have otherwise went and had a carb coma after eating an entire pizza. So thanks for that, folks. And you guys have yourself a great
I am
weekend.
just left of center.
And I will see you guys over on Justin's show in the morning.
Where I'll
Crafty,
be
you got anything?
recovering from my car pizza for eating car coma from eating a pizza right after this show.
Crafting, you got anything? You want to shill or talk about before we hit the road?
Uh, I'm hoping next Wednesday we'll see because no one showed up last Wednesday. I might actually be able to do a live stream talking about. Talking about character crafting in games. Let's say no, this week for you is something else. So let's say, oh no, I might have to change mine. So I don't want to do the same thing yours are doing. The same, you're doing manufacturing and trade.
If you want to do that, do it.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do that this Saturday. Trade manufacturing in sci-fi games, which, yeah, thank you for reminding me. To be honest, I need to write that down. So I would have been like, shit. What's the topic?
The same as it was supposed to be 2 weeks ago. Oh, it's been 2 weeks since we decided to make that game. Fuck. I need to open that document up again and look over it. We're gonna go with that dice scale, the 10.
Mhm.
10
Yeah,
thing, and,
after I write in a couple of pages of
the short story.
then I'll go over and do some work on that.
Yeah.
And no worries, Raven. We understand. We're
Yeah.
not going anywhere, and unless the raccoons get you, neither are you. So we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I'm going to go
Party on.
find out what the heck's going on with the phones and things. Take care, everybody, and happy trails.